Book of Moses, Caphlid Genesis. In the beginning God created heaven and earth. The earth was void and empty, and darkness was upon the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the water. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and divided the light from the darkness, and called the light day, and the darkness night. And so of the evening and morning was made the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament between the waters, and let it divide the waters asunder." Then God made the firmament, and parted the waters which were under the firmament from the waters that were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And so of the evening and morning was made the second day. And God said, "Let the waters that are under heaven gather themselves unto one place, that the dry land may appear." And it came so to pass. And God called the dry land the earth, and the gathering together of waters called he the sea. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth herb and grass that sow seed, and fruitful trees that bear fruit, every one in his kind, having their seed in themselves upon the earth." And it came so to pass. And the earth brought forth herb and grass, sowing seed, every one in his kind, and trees bearing fruit, and having their seed in themselves, every one in his kind. And God saw that it was good. And then of the evening and morning was made the third day. Then said God, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, that they may be unto signs, seasons, days, and years. And let them be lights in the firmament of heaven to shine upon the earth." And so it was. And God made two great lights, a greater light to rule the day, and a less light to rule the night, and he made stars also. And God put them in the firmament of heaven to shine upon the earth, and to rule the day and the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And so of the evening and morning was made the fourth day. And God said, "Let the water bring water." Genesis. Fourth, creatures that move and have life, and fowls for to flee over the earth under the firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and all manner of creatures that live and move, which the waters brought forth in their kinds, and all manner of feathered fowls in their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Grow and multiply, and fill the waters of the seas, and let the fowls multiply upon the earth." And so of the evening and morning was made the fifth day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures in their kinds, cattle and worms, and beasts of the earth in their kinds." And so it came to pass. And God made the beasts of the earth in their kinds, and cattle in their kinds, and all manner worms of the earth in their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our similitude, and after our likeness, that he may have rule over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over cattle, and over all the earth, and over all worms that creep on the earth." And God created man after his likeness. After the likeness of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Grow and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fishes of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over all the beasts that move on the earth." And God said, "See, I have given you all herbs that sow seed, which are on all the earth, and all manner trees that have fruit in them, and sow seed, to be meat for Yahweh, and for all beasts of the earth, and unto all fowls of the air, and unto all that creepeth on the earth wherein is life, that they may have all manner herbs and grass for to eat." And even so it was. And God beheld all that he had made, and lo, they were exceeding good. And so of the evening and morning was made the sixth day. Thus was heaven and earth finished with all their apparel. And in the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and rested in the seventh day from all his works which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, for in it he rested from all his works which he had created and made. These are the generations of heaven and earth when they were created, in the time when the Lorde God created heaven and earth, and all the shrubs of the field before they Genesis, were in the earth, and all the herbs of the field before they sprang. For the Lord God had yet sent no rain upon the earth, neither was there yet any man to till the earth. But there arose a mist out of the ground, and watered all the face of the earth. Then the Lord God shook man, even of the mould of the earth, and breathed into his face the breath of life. So man was made a living soul. The Lord God also planted a garden in Eden from the beginning, and there he set man whom he had formed. And the Lord God made to spring out of the earth all manner trees beautiful to the sight and pleasant to eat, and the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And there sprung a river out of Eden to water the garden, and thence divided itself, and grew into 4 principal waters. The name of the one is Pison. He it is that compasseth all the land of Havilah, where gold groweth. And the gold of that country is precious. There is found bdellium, and a stone called onyx. The name of the second river is Gihon, which compasseth all the land of Inde. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, which runneth on the east side of the Assyrians. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took Adam and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded Adam, saying, Of all the trees of the garden see thou eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and bad see that thou eat not. For even the same day thou eatest of it thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helper to bear him company. And after that the Lord God had made of the earth all manner beasts of the field, and all manner fowls of the air. He brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And as Adam called all manner living beasts, even so are their names. And Adam gave names unto all manner cattil, and unto the fowls of the air, and unto all manner beasts of the field. But there was no help found unto Adam to bear him company. Then the Lorde God cast a slumber on Adam, and he slept. And then he took out one of his ribs, and instead thereof he filled up the place with flesh. And the Lorde God made of the rib which he took out of Adam a woman, and brought her unto Adam. Then said Adam, This is once bone, the other middies. Other die the death. Genesis of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This shall be called woman, because she was taken of the man. For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were either of them naked, both Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed. But the serpent was subtler than all the beasts of the field, the thread which the Lorde God had made, and said unto the woman, Ah, sir, that God hath said, Ye shall not eat of all manner trees in the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, Of the fruit of the trees in the garden we may eat, but of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, said God, See that ye eat not, and see that ye touch it not, lest ye die. Then said the serpent unto the woman, Tush, ye shall not die, but God doth know that whensoever ye should eat of it, your eyes should be opened, and ye should be as God, and know both good and evil. And the woman saw that it was a good tree to eat of, and lusty unto the eyes, and a pleasant tree for to make wise, and took of the fruit of it, and ate, and gave unto her husband also with her, and he ate. And the eyes of both them were opened, that they understood how that they were naked. Then they sewed fig leaves together, and made them aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God as he walked in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam hid himself and his wife also from the face of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he answered, Thy voice I heard in the garden, but I was afraid because I was naked, and therefore hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree of which I bade thee that thou shouldest not eat? And Adam answered, The woman which thou gavest to bear me company, she took me of the tree, and I ate. And the Lord God said unto the woman, Wherefore didst thou so? And the woman answered, The serpent deceived me, and I ate. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast so done, most cursed be thou of all cattle and of all beasts of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and earth shalt thou eat all days of thy life. Moreover, I will put hatred between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. And that seed shall tread thee on the head, and thou shalt tread. Other, ye, vaf, other, indeed. Other, yit, other, middies. Genesis, it asterisk on the heel. And unto the woman he said, I will surely increase thy sorrow, and make thee oft with child, and with pain shalt thou be delivered. And thy lusts shall pertain unto thy husband, and he shall rule thee. And unto Adam he said, Forasmuch as thou hast obeyed the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, See thou eat not thereof. Cursed be the earth for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat thereof all days of thy life, and it shall bear thorns and thistles unto thee. And thou shalt eat the herbs of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, until thou return unto the earth whence thou wast take. For earth thou art, and unto earth shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife Heva, because she was the mother of all that liveth. And the Lord God made Adam and his wife garments of skins, and put them on them. And the Lord God said, Lo, Adam is become as it were one of us in knowledge of good and evil. But now lest he stretch forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live ever. And the Lorde God cast him out of the Garden of Eden, to till the earth whence he was taken. And he cast Adam out and set at the entering of the Garden Eden, cherubim with a naked sword moving in and out to keep the way to the tree of life. And Adam lay with Heva his wife, which conceived and bare for Cain, and said, I have gotten a man of the Lorde. And she proceeded forth and bare his brother Abel. And Abel became a shepherd, and Cain became a ploughman. And it fortuned in process of time that Cain brought of the fruit of the earth, an offering unto the Lorde. And Abel he brought also of the firstlings of his sheep and of the fat of them. And the Lorde looked unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and unto his offering looked he not. And Cain was wroth exceedingly and lowered. And the Lorde said unto Cain, Why art thou angry, and why lowerest thou? Wotest thou not, if thou dost well thou shalt receive it? But and if thou dost evil, by and by thy sin lieth open in the door. Notwithstanding let it be subdued unto thee, and see thou rule it. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And as soon as they were in the fields, Cain fell upon Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lorde said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, IV other, hit. Genesis. Cannot tell, am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me out of the earth. And now cursed be thou as pertaining to the earth, which opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood of thine hand. For when thou tillest the ground, she shall henceforth not give her power unto thee. A vagabond and a renegade shalt thou be upon the earth. And Cain said unto the Lorde, My sin is greater than that it may be forgiven. Behold, thou castest me out this day from off the face of the earth. And from thy sight must I hide myself, and I must be wandering and a vagabond upon the earth. Moreover, whosoever findeth me will kill me. And the Lorde said unto him, Not so, but whosoever slayeth Cain shall be punished sevenfold. And the Lorde put a mark upon Cain, that no man that found him should kill him. And Cain went out from the face of the Lorde, and dwelt in the land Nod on the east side of Eden. And Cain lay with his wife, which conceived and bare Henoch. And he was building a city, and called the name of it after the name of his son Henoch. And Henoch begat Irad, and Irad begat Mahujael, and Mahujael begat Methusael, and Methusael begat Lamech. And Lamech took him 2 wives. The one was called Ada, and the other Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal, of whom came they that dwell in tents and possess cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. Of him came all that exercised themselves on the harp and on the organs. And Zillah she also bare Tubal-Cain, a worker in metal, and a father of all that grave in brass and iron. And Tubal-Cain's sister was called Naamah. Then said Lamech unto his wives Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, and hearken unto my words. For I have slain a man, and wounded myself, and have slain a young man, and got myself stripes. For Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, but Lamech 70 times sevenfold. Adam also lay with his wife yet again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God, said she, hath given me another son for Abel whom Cain slew. And Seth begat a son, and called his name Enos. And in that time began men to call on the name of the Lorde. This is the book of the generation of man, in the day when God created man, and made him after the similitude of God. Male and female made he them, and called their names man, in the day when they were created. And when Adam was an Genesis 130-year-old, he begat a son after his likeness and similitude, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he begat Seth were 800 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Adam which he lived were 930 year, and then he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and begat Enos. And after he had begot Enos, he lived 807 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 year, and died. And Enos lived 90 year, and begat Kenan. And Enos after he begat Nan lived 815 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 year, and then he died. And Kenan lived 70 year, and begat Mahalaleel. And Kenan after he had begot Mahalaleel lived 840 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Kenan were 910 year, and then he died. And Mahalaleel lived 65 year, and begat Jared. And Mahalaleel after he had begot Jared lived 830 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalaleel were 895 year, and then he died. And Jared lived 162 year, and begat Henoch. And Jared lived after he begat Henoch 800 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 year, and then he died. And Henoch lived 65 year, and begat Methuselah. And Henoch walked with God after he had begot Methuselah 300 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Henoch were 365 year, and then Henoch lived a godly life, and was no more seen, for God took him away. And Methuselah lived 187 year, and begat Lamech. And Methuselah, after he had begot Lamech, lived 782 year, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 year, and then he died. And Lamech lived 182 year, and begat a son, and called him No, saying, This same shall comfort us, as concerning our work and sorrow of our hands, which we have about the earth that the Lorde hath cursed. And Lamech lived after he had begot Noe 595 year, and begat sons, and Genesis, daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 year, and then he died. And when Noe was 500 year old, he begat Sem, Ham, and Japheth. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply upon the 6th earth, and had begot them daughters, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and took unto them wives, which they best liked among them all. And the Lorde said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for they are flesh. Nevertheless I will give them yet space, 120 years. There were tyrants in the world in those days. For after that the children of God had gone in unto the daughters of men, and had begotten them children. The same children were the mightiest of the world, and men of renown. And when the Lorde saw that the wickedness of man was increased upon the earth, and that all the imagination and thoughts of his heart was only evil continually, he repented that he had made man upon the earth, and sorrowed in his heart. And said, I will destroy mankind which I have made, from off the face of the earth, both man, beast, worm, and fowl of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But yet Noe found grace in the sight of the Lorde. These are the generations of Noe. Noe was a righteous man, and uncorrupt in his time, and walked with God. And Noe begat 3 sons, Sem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt in the sight of God, and was full of mischief. And God looked upon the earth, and lo, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. Then said God to Noe, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is full of their mischief. And lo, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of pine tree, and make chambers in the ark, and pitch it within and without with pitch. And of this fashion shalt thou make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make above in the ark, and within a cubit compass shalt thou finish it. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side of it, and thou shalt make it with 3 lofts, one above another. For behold, I will bring in a flood of water upon the earth, to destroy all flesh from under heaven, wherein breath of life is, so that all that is in the earth shall perish. But I will make mine appointment with thee, that both thou shalt come into, Genesis, the ark, and thy sons, thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of all that liveth whatsoever flesh it be, shalt thou bring into the ark of everything a pair, to keep them alive with thee. And male and female see that they be, of birds in their kind, and of beasts in their kind, and of all manner of worms of the earth in their kind. A pair of everything shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take unto thee of all manner of meat that may be eaten, and lay it up in store by thee, that it may be meat both for thee and for them. And Noe did according to all that God commanded him. And the Lorde said unto Noe, Go into the ark, both thou and 7 all thy household. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of all clean beasts take unto thee 7 of every kind, the male and his female. And of unclean beasts a pair, the male and his female. Likewise of the birds of the air 7 of every kind, male and female, to save seed upon all the earth. For 7 days hence will I send rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and will destroy all manner of things that I have made, from off the face of the earth. And Noe did according to all that the Lorde commanded him. And Noe was 600 year old when the flood of water came upon the earth. And Noe went, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him, into the ark from the waters of the flood. And of clean beasts, and of beasts that were unclean, and of birds, and of all that creepeth upon the earth, came in by couples of every kind unto Noe into the ark, a male and a female, even as God commanded Noe. And the 7th day the waters of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noe's life, in the 2nd month, in the 17th day of the month, That same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and there fell a rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And the self-same day went Noah, Sem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, and Noah's wife and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark, both they and all manner of beasts in their kind, and all manner of cattle in their kind, and all manner of worms that creep upon the earth in their kind, and all manner of birds in their kind, and all manner of fowls whatsoever had feathers. And they came unto Noah into the ark by couples, of all flesh that had breath of life in it. And, Genesis, they that came male and female of every flesh according as God commanded him. And the Lorde shut the door upon him. And the flood came 40 days and 40 nights upon the earth. And the water increased and bare up the ark, and it was lift up from off the earth. And the water prevailed and increased exceedingly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the top of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly above measure upon the earth, so that all the high hills which are under all the parts of heaven were covered. Even 15 cubits high prevailed the waters, so that the hills were covered. And all flesh that moved on the earth, both birds, cattle, and beasts, perished, with all that crept on the earth and all men. So that all that had the breath of life in the nostrils of it thoroughout all that was on dry land died. Thus was destroyed all that was upon the earth, both man, beasts, worms, and fowls of the air, so that they were destroyed from the earth. Save Noah was reserved only, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. And God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the 8 cattle that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to blow upon the earth, and the waters ceased. And the fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain of heaven was forbidden. And the waters returned from off the earth and abated after the end of 150 days. And the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat, the 17th day of the 7th month. And the waters went away and decreased until the 10th month. And the 1st day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains appeared. And after the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and sent forth a raven, which went out, ever going and coming again, until the waters were dried up upon the earth. Then sent he forth a dove from him, to weet whether the waters were fallen from off the earth. And when the dove could find no resting place for her foot, she returned to him again unto the ark, for the waters were upon the face of all the earth. And he put out his hand and took her and pulled her to him into the ark. And he abode yet 7 days more, and sent out the dove again out of the ark, and the dove came to him again about eventide, and behold, there vive other, Mo, Genesis, was in her mouth a leaf of an olive tree which she had plucked, whereby Noah perceived that the waters were abated upon the earth. And he tarried yet 7 other days, and sent forth the dove, which from thenceforth came no more again to him. And it came to pass the 601 year and the 1st day of the 1st month, that the waters were dried up upon the earth. And Noah took off the hatches of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the earth was dry. So by the 27th day of the 2nd month the earth was dry. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Come out of the ark, both thou and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee, and all the beasts that are with thee whatsoever flesh it be, both fowl and cattle and all manner worms that creep on the earth, bring out with thee, and let them move, grow, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah came out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. And all the beasts and all the worms and all the fowls and all that moved upon the earth came also out of the ark, all of one kind together. And Noah made an altar unto the Lorde, and took of all manner of clean beasts and all manner of clean fowls, and offered sacrifice upon the altar. And the Lorde smelled a sweet savour, and said in his heart, I will henceforth no more curse the earth for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil even from the very youth of him. Moreover, I will not destroy from henceforth all that liveth as I have done. Neither shall sowing time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night cease, as long as the earth endureth. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Increase and multiply and fill the earth. The fear also and dread of Yahweh be upon all beasts of the earth, and upon all fowls of the air, and upon all that creepeth on the earth, and upon all fishes of the sea, which are given unto your hands. And all that moveth upon the earth having life shall be your meat. Even as the green herbs, so give I you all things. Only the flesh with his life, which is his blood, see that ye eat not. For verily the blood of Yahweh wherein your lives are will I require. Even of the hand of all beasts will I require it, and of the hand of man and of the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. So that he which sheddeth man's blood shall have his blood shed by man again. For God made man after Genesis, his own likeness. See that ye increase and wax and be occupied upon the earth and multiply therein. Furthermore God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, See, I make my bond with you and your seed after you, and with all living things that is with you, both fowl and cattle, and all manner beast of the earth that is with you, of all that cometh out of the ark, whatsoever beast of the earth it be. I make my bond with you, that henceforth all flesh shall not be destroyed with the waters of any flood, and that henceforth there shall not be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the token of my bond which I make between me and you, and between all living thing that is with you forever. I will set my bow in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of the appointment made between me and the earth, so that when I bring in clouds upon the earth, the bow shall appear in the clouds. And then will I think upon my testament which I have made between me and you, and all that liveth whatsoever flesh it be, so that henceforth there shall be no more waters to make a flood to destroy all flesh. The bow shall be in the clouds, and I will look upon it to remember the everlasting testament between God and all that liveth upon the earth, whatsoever flesh it be. And God said unto Noah, This is the sign of the testament which I have made between me and all flesh that is on the earth. The sons of Noah that came out of the ark were Sem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham he is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of these was all the world overspread. And Noah, being an husbandman, went forth and planted a vineyard, and drank of the wine, and was drunk, and lay uncovered in the midst of his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's privates, and told his 2 brethren that were without. And Sem and Japheth took a mantle, and put it on both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered their father's secrets, but their faces were backward, so that they saw not their father's nakedness. As soon as Noah was awaked from his wine, and wist what his youngest son had done unto him, he said, Cursed be Canaan, and a servant of all servants be he to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Sem, and Canaan be his servant. God increased Japheth that he may dwell in the tents of Sem, and Canaan be their servee other, privities. Genesis, Vant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 year, so that all the days of Noah were 950 year, and then he died. These are the generations of the sons of Noah, of Sem, Ham, and Japheth, which begat them children after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Mesech, and Thyras. And the sons of Gomer were Asenas, Riphat, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan were Elisa, Tharsis, Kithim, and Dodanim. Of these came the isles of the Gentiles in their countries, every man in his speech, kindred, and nation. The sons of Ham were Chus, Misraim, Phut, and Canaan. The sons of Chus were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Raima, and Sabtima. And the sons of Raima were Sheba and Dedan. Chus also begot Nimrod, which began to be mighty in the earth. He was a mighty hunter in the sight of the Lorde, whereof came the proverb, He is as Nimrod, that mighty hunter in the sight of the Lorde. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Chalne in the land of Sinir. Out of that land came Assur, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah, and Resen be, between Nineveh and Calah. That is a great city. And Mizrim begat Ludim, Inanim, Leabim, Naphtuhim, Pathrusim, and Casluhim, from whence came the Philistines and the Caphtherines. Canaan also begat Zidon his eldest son, and Heth, Jebusi, Emori, Girgosi, Hivi, Archi, Sini, Arvadi, Zemari, and Harmati. And afterward sprang the kindreds of the Canaanites. And the coasts of the Canaanites were from Sidon till thou come to Gerara and to Asa, until thou come to Sodoma, Gomorrah, Adama, Zeboim, even unto Lasa. These were the children of Ham in their kindreds, tongues, lands, and nations. And Sem, the father of all the children of Eber, and the eldest brother of Japheth, begat children also. And his sons were Elam, Assur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram were Ur, Hul, Gether, and Mas. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber, and Eber begat 2 sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his time the earth was divided, and the name of his brother was Joktan. Joktan begat Almodad, Saleph, Hisamoneth, Jara, Hadoram, Usal, Dikela, Obal, Abimael, Seba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these are the sons of Joktan, and the dwelling of them was from Mesa. Genesis. Until thou come unto Sephirah, a mountain of the east land. These are the sons of Sem in their kindreds, languages, countries, and nations. These are the kindreds of the sons of Noah in their generations and nations. And of these came the people that were in the world after the flood. And all the world was of one tongue and one language. And seventh, as they came from the east, they found a plain in the land of Sinir, and there they dwelled. And they said one to another, Come on, let us make brick and burn it with fire. So brick was their stone, and slime was their mortar. And they said, Come on, let us build us a city and a tower, that the top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, for peradventure we shall be scattered abroad over all the earth. And the Lorde came down to see the city and the tower which the children of Adam had builded. And the Lorde said, See, the people is one, and have one tongue among them all. And this have they begun to do, and will not leave off from all that they have purposed to do. Come on, let us descend and mingle their tongue even there, that one understand not what another saith. Thus the Lorde scattered them from thence upon all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Wherefore the name of it is called Babel, because that the Lorde there confounded the tongue of all the world, and because that the Lord from thence scattered them abroad upon all the earth. These are the generations of Sem. Sem was 100-year-old, and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Sem lived after he had begot Arphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begat Salah, and lived after he had begot Salah 400 years and 3, and begat sons and daughters. And Salah was 30-year-old, and begat Eber, and lived after he had begot Eber 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. When Eber was 34-year-old, he begat Peleg, and lived after he had begot Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg, when he was 30-year-old, begat Regu, and lived after he had begot Regu 209 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Regu, when he had lived 32 years, begat Serug, and lived after he had begot Serug 207 years, and begat sons and daughters. And when Serug, Genesis, was 30-year-old, he begat Nahor, and lived after he had begot Nahor 200 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor, when he was 29-year-old, begat Terah, and lived after he had begot Terah 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. And when Terah was 70-year-old, he begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before Terah his father in the land where he was born, at Ur in Chaldea. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. Abram's wife was called Sarai, and Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, which was father of Milcah and of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, and had no child. Then took Terah Abram his son, and Lot his son Haran's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law his son Abram's wife. And they went with him from Ur in Chaldea, to go into the land of Canaan. And they came to Haran, and dwelled there. And when Terah was 200-year-old and 5, he died in Haran. Then the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, try and from thy kindred, and out of thy father's house, into a land which I will show thee. And I will make of thee a mighty people, and will bless thee, and make thy name great, that thou mayest be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And in thee shall be blessed all the generations of the earth. And Abram went as the Lord bade him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75-year-old when he went out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, with all their goods which they had gotten, and souls which they had begotten in Haran. And they departed to go into the land of Canaan. And when they were come into the land of Canaan, Abram went forth into the land till he came unto a place called Shechem, and unto the oak of Moreh. And the Canaanites dwelled then in the land. Then the Lord appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And he builded an altar there unto the Lord which appeared to him. Then departed he thence unto a mountain that lieth on the east side of Bethel, and pitched his tent, Bethel being on the west side, and Ai on the east. And he builded there an altar unto the Lord, and called on the name of the Lord. And then, Genesis. Abram departed, and took his journey southward. After this there came a dearth in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the dearth was sore in the land. And when he was come nigh for to enter into Egypt, he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. It will come to pass, therefore, when the Egyptians see thee, that they will say, she is his wife. And so shall they slay me and save thee. Say, I pray thee therefore, that thou art my sister, that I may fare the better by reason of thee, and that my soul may live for thy sake. As soon as he came into Egypt, the Egyptians saw the woman that she was very fair, and Pharaoh's lord saw her also, and praised her unto Pharaoh. So that she was taken into Pharaoh's house, which entreated Abram well for her sake, so that he had sheep, oxen, and he-asses, men-servants, maid-servants, she-asses, and camels. But God plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues, because of Sarai Abram's wife. Then Pharaoh called Abram and said, Why hast thou thus dealt with me? Wherefore toldest thou me not that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou that she was thy sister, and causedst me to take her to my wife? But now, lo, there is thy wife, take her and be walking. Pharaoh also gave a charge unto his men over Abram to lead him out with his wife and all that he had. Then Abram departed out of Egypt, both he and his wife, and 13 all that he had, and Lot with him unto the south. Abram was very rich in cattle, silver, and gold, and he went on his journey from the south even unto Bethel, and unto the place where his tent was at the first time between Bethel and Ai, and unto the place of the altar which he made before. And there called Abram upon the name of the Lorde. Lot also, which went with him, had sheep, cattle, and tents, so that the land was not able to receive them, that they might dwell together, for the substance of their riches was so great, that they could not dwell together. And there fell a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle, and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. Moreover, the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled at that time in the land. Then said Abram unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between thee and me, and between my herdmen and thine, for we be brethren. Is not all the whole land before thee? Depart, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, I will. Genesis, take the right. Or if thou take the right hand, I will take the left. And Lot lift up his eyes, and beheld all the country about Jordan, which was a plenteous country of water everywhere, before the Lorde destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lorde, and as the land of Egypt, till thou come to Zoar. Then Lot chose all the coasts of Jordan, and took his journey from the east, and so departed the one brother from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot in the cities of the plain, and tented till he came to Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked, and sinned exceedingly against the Lorde. And the Lorde said unto Abram, after that Lot was departed from him, Lift up thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest will I give unto thee and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise and walk about in the land, in the length of it and in the breadth, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram took down his tent, and went and dwelled in the oak grove of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and builded there an altar to the Lorde. And it chanced within a while that Amraphel king of Sin the 14th year, Arioch king of Elasar, Kedorlaomer king of Elam, and Thideel king of the nations, made war with Bera king of Sodom, and with Birsa king of Gomorrah, and with Sineab king of Adama, and with Semeaba king of Zeboim, and with the king of Bela, which Bela is called Zoar. All these came together unto the vale of Siddim, which is now the Salt Sea. 12 years were they subject to King Kedorlaomer, and in the 13th year rebelled. Therefore in the 14th year came Kedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Raphaims in Astaroth Karnaim, and the Susims in Ham, and the Emims in Sabeh Kiriathaim, and the Horims in their own Mount Seir unto the plain of Pharan, which bordereth upon the wilderness. And then turned they, and came to the well of judgment, which is Cades, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwell in Hazazon Tamar. Then went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adama, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, now called Zoar, and set their men in array, Genesis, to fight with them in the vale of Siddim, that is to say, with Kedorlaomer the king of Elam, and with Thideel king of the nations, and with Amraphel king of Sinir, and with Arioch king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. And that vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and the residue fled to the mountains. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their vitails, and went their way. And they took Lot also, Abram's brother's son, and his goods, for he dwelled at Sodom, and departed. Then came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, which dwelt in the oak grove of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and Anna, which were confederate with Abram. When Abram heard that his brother was taken, he harnessed his servants born in his own house, 318, and followed till they came at Dan, and set himself and his servants in array, and fell upon them by night, and smote them, and chased them away unto Hobah, which lieth on the left hand of Damasco, and brought again all the goods, and also his brother Lot and his goods, the women also and the people. And as he returned again from the slaughter of Kedorlaomer and of the kings that were with him, then came the king of Sodom against him unto the vale of Sour, which now is called King's Dale. Then Melchizedek king of Salem brought forth bread and wine, and he being the priest of the most highest God blessed him, saying, Blessed be Abram unto the most highest God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God the most highest, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hands. And Abram gave him tithes of all. Then said the king of Sodom unto Abram, Give me the souls, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram answered the king of Sodom, I lift up my hand unto the Lord God, most high possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take of all that is thine, so much as a thread or a shoe latchet, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the parts of the men which went with me. Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their parts. After these deeds the word of God came unto Abram in 15, a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy reeve. Other, to meet. Genesis. Ward shall be exceeding great. And Abram answered, Lord Jehovah *, what wilt thou give me? I go childless, and the cater of mine house, this Eliezer of Damasco, hath a son. And Abram said, See, to me hast thou given to seed. Lo, a lad born in my house shall be mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord spake unto Abram, saying, He shall not be thine heir, but one that shall come out of thine own body shall be thine heir. And he brought him out at the doors, and said, Look up unto heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And said unto him, Even so shall thy seed be. And Abram believed the Lorde, and it was counted to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lorde that brought thee out of Ur in Chaldea to give thee this land to possess it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall possess it? And he said unto him, Take an heifer of 3-year-old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a 3-year-old ram, a turtle-dove, and a young pigeon. And he took all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid every piece one over against another. But the fowls divided he not, and the birds fell on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. And when the sun was down, there fell a slumber upon Abram. And lo, fear and great darkness came upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know this of a surety, that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that pertaineth not unto them. And they shall make bondmen of them, and entreat them evil 400 years. But the nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. Nevertheless thou shalt go unto thy fathers in peace, and shalt be buried when thou art of a good age. And in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the wickedness of the Amorites is not yet full. When the sun was down, and it was waxed dark, behold, there was a smoking furnace and a firebrand that went between the said pieces. And that same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed will I give this land from the river of Egypt, even unto the great river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hethites, the Perizzites, the Raphaims, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgasites, and the Jebusites. Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, but she had an extent v other Ehua. Genesis. Handmaid an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. Wherefore she said unto Abram, Behold, the Lorde hath closed me, that I cannot bear. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, peradventure I shall be multiplied by means of her. And Abram heard the voice of Sarai. Then Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar her maid the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelled 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. Then said Sarai unto Abram, Thou dost me unright, for I have given my maid into thy bosom, and now because she seeth that she hath conceived, I am despised in her sight. The Lord judge between thee and me. Then said Abram to Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand, do with her as it pleaseth thee. And because Sarai fared foul with her, she fled from her. And the angel of the Lorde found her beside a fountain of water in the wilderness, even by a well in the way to Sur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence comest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she answered, I flee from my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lorde said unto her, Return to thy mistress again, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will so increase thy seed, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the Lord's angel said further unto her, See, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ismael, because the Lord hath heard thy tribulation. He will be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And yet shall he dwell fast by all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou art the God that lookest on me, for she said, I have of a surety seen here the back parts of him that seeth me. Wherefore she called the well of the living that seeth me, which well is between Cades and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ismael. And Abram was 86-year-old when Hagar bare him Ismael. When Abram was 90-year-old and 9, the Lord Apphawatine paired to him, saying, I am the Almighty God, walk before me and be uncorrupt, and I will make my bond between thee and me, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked moreover with him, saying, I am be, Genesis. Hold my testament is with thee, that thou shalt be a father of many nations. Therefore shalt thou no more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly, and will make nations of thee. Yea, and kings shall spring out of thee. Moreover, I will make my bond between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their times to be an everlasting testament, so that I will be God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, even all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, See thou keep my testament, both thou and thy seed after thee in their times. This is my testament which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee, that ye circumcise all your men children. Ye shall circumcise the foreskin of your flesh, and it shall be a token of the bond betwixt me and you. And every man-child, when it is 8 days old, shall be circumcised among you in your generations. And all servants also born at home, or bought with money, though they be strangers and not of thy seed. The servant born in thy house, and he also that is bought with money, must needs be circumcised, that my testament may be in your flesh, for an everlasting bond. If there be any uncircumcised man-child, that hath not the foreskin of his flesh cut off, his soul shall perish from his people, because he hath broken my testament. And God said unto Abraham, Sarai thy wife shall no more be called Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. For I will bless her, and give thee a son of her, and will bless her, so that people, yea, and kings of people shall spring of her. And Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100-year-old? And shall Sarah that is 90-year-old bear? And Abraham said unto God, O that Ismael might live in thy sight. Then said God, Nay, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will make my bond with him, that it shall be an everlasting bond unto his seed after him. And as concerning Ismael also I have heard thy request. Lo, I will bless him, and increase him, and multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make a great nation. Viv. Other. B. Genesis of him. But my bond will I make with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee, even this time 12 month. And God left off talking with him, and departed up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ismael his son, and all the servants born in his house, and all that was bought with money, as many as were men children among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the foreskin of their flesh, even the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. Abraham was 90-year-old and 9 when he cut off the foreskin of his flesh. And Ismael his son was 13-year-old when the foreskin of his flesh was circumcised. The selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ismael his son. And all the men in his house, whether they were born in his house or bought with money, though they were strangers, were circumcised with him. And the Lord appeared unto him in the oak grove of Mamre 38th, as he sat in his tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood not far from him. And when he saw them, he ran against them from the tent door, and fell to the ground, and said, Lord, if I have found favour in thy sight, go not by thy servant. Let a little water be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread to comfort your hearts withal. And then go your ways, for even therefore are ye come to your servant. And they answered, Do even so as thou hast said. And Abraham went apace into his tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready at once 3 pecks of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes. And Abraham ran unto his beasts, and fetched a calf that was tender and good, and gave it unto a young man which made it ready at once. And he took but tur and milk and the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them, and stood himself by them under the tree, and they ate. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, In the tent. And he said, I will come again unto thee as soon as the fruit can live. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. That heard Sarah out of the tent door which was behind his back. Abraham and Sarah were both old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the man, Near, as it is with wives. And Sarah laughed in herself, saying, Now I am waxed old, shall I give myself to lust and my Lord? Other to meet. Genesis. Old also? Then said the Lord unto Abraham, Wherefore doth Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child now when I am old? Is the thing too hard for the Lord to do? In the time appointed will I return unto thee as soon as the fruit can have life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied it, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. But he said, Yes, thou laughest. Then the men stood up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Can I hide from Abraham that thing which I am about to do, seeing that Abraham shall be a great and a mighty people, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him that he will command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord, to do after right and conscience, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that he hath promised him. And the Lord said, The cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is exceeding grievous. I will go down and see whether they have done altogether according to that cry which is come unto me or not, that I may know. And the men departed thence and went to Sodomward. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord, and drew near and said, Wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? If there be 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou destroy it, and not spare the place for the sake of 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee, that thou shouldest do after this manner to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Should not the judge of all the world do according to right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, and yet am but dust and ashes. What though there lack 5 of 50 righteous, wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy them. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, What if there be 40 found there? And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said, O let not my Lord be angry that I speak. What if there be found 30 there? And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, O see, I have begun to speak unto my Lord, what if there be 20 found there? And he, Genesis, said, I will not destroy them for 20's sake. And he said, O let not my Lord be angry that I speak yet, but even once more only. What if 10 be found there? And he said, I will not destroy them for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat tore teeth at the gate of the city. And Lot saw them, and rose up against them, and he bowed himself to the ground with his face. And he said, See, lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will bide in the streets all night. And he compelled them exceedingly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake sweet cakes, and they ate. But before they went to rest, the men of the city of Sodom compassed the house round about, both old and young, all the people from all quarters. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thy house tonight? Bring them out unto us, that we may do our lust with them. And Lot went out at doors unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, Nay, for God's sake, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, I have 2 daughters which have known no man. Them will I bring out unto you, do with them as it seemeth you good. Only unto these men do nothing, for came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Come hither. And they said, Camest thou not into sojourn, and wilt thou be now a judge? We will surely deal worse with thee than with them. And as they breathed sore upon Lot, and began to break up the door, the men put forth their hands, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And the men that were at the door of the house, they smote with blindness both small and great, so that they could not find the door. And the men said moreover unto Lot, If thou have yet here any son-in-law or sons or daughters or whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring it out of this place, for we must destroy this place, because the cry of them is great before the Lorde. Wherefore he hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which should have married his other to meet. Genesis. Daughters, and said, Stand up and get you out of this place, for the Lorde will destroy the city. But he seemed as though he had mocked unto his sons-in-law. And as the morning arose, the angels caused Lot to speed him, saying, Stand up, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, and that is at hand, lest thou perish in the sin of the city. And as he prolonged the time, the men caught both him, his wife, and his 2 daughters by the hands, because the Lorde was merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. When they had brought them out, they said, Save thy life, and look not behind thee, neither tarry thou in any place of the country, but save thyself in the mountain, lest thou perish. Then said Lot unto them, O nay, my lord, behold, inasmuch as thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, now make thy mercy great, which thou showest unto me in saving my life. For I cannot save myself in the mountains, lest some misfortune fall upon me, and I die. Behold, here is a city by to flee unto, and it is a little one, let me save myself therein. Is it not a little one, that my soul may live? And he said to him, See, I have received thy request as concerning this thing, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, and save thyself there, for I can do nothing till thou be come in thither. And therefore the name of the city is called Zoar. And the sun was upon the earth when Lot was entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah, brimstone and fire from the Lorde out of heaven, and overthrew those cities and all the region and all that dwelled in the cities, and that grew upon the earth. And Lot's wife looked behind her, and was turned into a pillar of salt. Abraham rose up early and got him to the place where he stood before the Lorde, and looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of that country. And as he looked, behold, the smoke of the country arose as it had been the smoke of a furnace. But yet when God destroyed the cities of the region, he thought upon Abraham, and sent Lot out from the danger of the overthrowing, when he overthrew the cities where Lot dwelled. And Lot departed out of Zoar, and dwelled in the mountains, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to tarry in Zoar. He dwelt therefore in a cave, both he and his 2 daughters also. Then the other, Stonda. Genesis said the elder unto the younger, Our father is old, and there are no more men in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the world. Come therefore, let us give our father wine to drink, and let us lie with him, that we may save seed of our father. And they gave their father wine to drink that same night. And the elder daughter went and lay with her father. And he perceived it not, neither when she lay down, neither when she rose up. And on the morrow the elder said unto the younger, Behold, yesternight lay I with my father. Let us give him wine to drink this night also, and go thou and lie with him, and let us save seed of our father. And they gave their father wine to drink that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived it not, neither when she lay down, neither when she rose up. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the elder bare a son, and called him Moab, which is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger bare a son, and called him Ben-Ammi, which is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. And Abraham departed thence toward the south country, Dine-Beths, and dwelled between Cades and Sur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, that she was his sister. Then Abimelech king of Gerar sent and fetched Sarah away. And God came to Abimelech by night in a dream, and said to him, See, thou art but a dead man for the woman's sake, which thou hast taken away, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not yet come nigh her, and therefore said, Lord, wilt thou slay righteous people? Said not he unto me that she was his sister? Yea, and said not she herself that he was her brother? With a pure heart and innocent hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, I wot it well that thou didst it in the pureness of thy heart, and therefore I kept thee, that thou shouldest not sin against me, neither suffered I thee to come nigh her. Now therefore deliver the man his wife again, for he is a prophet, and let him pray for thee that thou mayest live. But and if thou deliver her not again, be sure that thou shalt die the death with all that thou hast. Then Abimelech rose up betimes in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. And Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us, and what have I offended thee? Genesis, that thou shouldest bring on me and on my kingdom so great a sin. Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said moreover unto Abraham, What sawest thou that moved thee to do this thing? And Abraham answered, I thought that peradventure the fear of God was not in this place, and that they should slay me for my wife's sake. Yet in very deed she is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not of my mother, and became my wife. And after God caused me to wander out of my father's house, I said unto her, This kindness shalt thou show unto me in all places where we come, that thou say of me, How that I am thy brother. Then took Abimelech sheep and oxen, men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and delivered him Sarah his wife again. And Abimelech said, Behold, the land lieth before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee best. And unto Sarah he said, See, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he shall be a covering to thine eyes unto all that are with thee, and unto all men, and an excuse. And so Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidens, so that they bare. For the Lorde had closed to all the matrices of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah Abraham's wife. The Lorde visited Sarah as he had said, and did unto her as he did according as he had spoken. And Sarah was with child, and bare Abraham a son in his old age, even the same season which the Lord had appointed. And Abraham called his son's name that was born unto him, which Sarah bare him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised Isaac his son when he was 8 days old, as God commanded him. And Abraham was 100-year-old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made me a laughing stock, for all that hear will laugh at me. She said also, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck, or that I should have borne him a son in his old age? The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast, the same day that Isaac was weaned. Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, a mocking. Then she said unto Abraham, Put away this bondmaid and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son Isaac. Vive. Other. This thing. Vive. Other. Promised. Genesis. But the word seemed very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. Then the Lord said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous unto thee because of the lad and of thy bondmaid. But in all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hear her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Moreover, of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle with water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulders with the lad also, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered up and down in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water was spent that was in the bottle, she cast the lad under a bush, and went and sat her out of sight a great way, as it were a bowshot off. For she said, I will not see the lad die. And she sat down out of sight, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And God heard the voice of the child. And the angel of God called Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the child where he lieth. Arise, and lift up the lad, and take him in thy hand, for I will make of him a great people. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the boy drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Pharaoh. And his mother got him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it chanced the same season that Abimelech and Phicol his chief captain spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me even here by God, that thou wilt not hurt me, nor my children, nor my children's children, but that thou shalt deal with me in the country where thou art a stranger, according unto the kindness that I have showed thee. Then said Abraham, I will swear. And Abraham rebuked Abimelech for a well of water which Abimelech's servants had taken away. And Abimelech answered, I wist not who did it. Also thou toldest me not, nay, there heard I of it, but this day. And Abraham took sheep and oxen, and gave them unto Abimelech. And they made both of them a bond together. And Abraham set 7 lambs by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he answered, 7 lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that it may. Genesis. Be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore the place is called Beersheba, because they swear, both of them. Thus made they a bond together at Beersheba. Then Abimelech and Phicol his chief captain rose up and turned again unto the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a wood in Beerseba, and called there on the name of the Lorde, the everlasting God, and dwelt in the Philistine land a long season. After these deeds God did prove Abraham, and said unto to him, Abraham. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, Take thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee unto the land of Moriah, and sacrifice him there for a sacrifice upon one of the mountains which I will show thee. Then Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his miney with him, and Isaac his son, and clove wood for the sacrifice, and rose up and got him to the place which God had appointed him. The 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off, and said unto his young men, Bide here with the ass. I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again unto you. And Abraham took the wood of the sacrifice, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and took fire in his hand and a knife. And they went both of them together. Then spake Isaac unto Abraham his father, and said, My father? And he answered, Here am I, my son. And he said, See, here is fire and wood, but where is the sheep for sacrifice? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide him a sheep for sacrifice. So went they both together. And when they came unto the place which God showed him, Abraham made an altar there, and dressed the wood, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar above upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to have killed his son. Then the angel of the Lorde called unto him from heaven, saying, Abraham, Abraham. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hands upon the child, neither do anything at all unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, in that thou hast not kept thine only son from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked about. And behold, there was a ram caught by the horns in a thicket. And he went and took the ram, and offered him up for a sacrifice in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord will see the other son. Genesis. Wherefore it is a common saying this day, In the mount will the Lord be seen. And the angel of the Lord cried unto Abraham from heaven the 2nd time, saying, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, because thou hast done this thing, and hast not spared thy only son, that I will bless thee, and multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand upon the seaside. And thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So turned Abraham again unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beerseba. And Abraham dwelt at Beerseba. And it chanced to these things that one told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nachor, Hus his eldest son, and Bus his brother, and Kemuel the father of the Syrians, and Kesed, and Haso, and Pildas, and Jedlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 did Milcah bear to Nachor Abraham's brother. And his concubine called Reumah she bare also Tabor, Gaham, Thas, and Marcha. Sarah was 127-year-old, for so long 23rd lived she, and then died in a head city called Hebron in the land of Canaan. Then Abraham came to mourn Sarah, and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from the corpse, and talked with the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a foreigner among you. Give me a possession to bury in with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, Lord, thou art a prince of God among us. In the chiefest of our sepulchres bury thy dead. None of us shall forbid thee his sepulchre, that thou shouldest not bury thy dead therein. Abraham stood up and bowed himself before the people of the land, the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your minds that I shall bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and speak for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, and let him give me the double cave which he hath in the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, let him give it me in the presence of you, for a possession to bury in. For Ephron dwelled among the children of Heth. Then Ephron the Hethite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, and of all that went in at the gates of his city, saying, Not so, my lord, but herewother. Come and, Genesis, me. The field give I thee, and the cave that therein is give I thee also. And even in the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee to bury thy dead in. Then Abraham bowed himself before the people of the land, and spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the country, saying, I pray thee hear me. I will give silver for the field. Take it of me, and so will I bury my dead there. Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 sickles of silver. But what is that betwixt thee and me? Bury thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and weighed him the silver which he had said in the audience of the sons of Heth, even 400 silver sickles of cur rent money among merchants. Thus was the field of Ephron, wherein the double cave is before Mamre, even the field and the cave that is therein, and all the trees of the field which grow in all the borders round about, made sure unto Abraham for a possession, in the sight of the children of Heth, and of all that went in at the gates of the city. And then Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the double cave of the field that lieth before Mamre, otherwise called Abron, in the land of Canaan. And so both the field and the cave that is therein was made unto Abraham, a sure possession to bury in, of the sons of Heth. Abraham was old and stricken in days, and the Lorde had blessed him in all things. And he said unto his eldest servant of his house, which had the rule over all that he had, Put thy hand under my thigh, that I may make thee swear by the Lorde that is God of heaven and God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among which I dwell, but shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and there take a wife unto my son Isaac. Then said the servant unto him, What, and if the woman will not agree to come with me unto this land, shall I bring thy son again unto the land which thou camest out of? And Abraham said unto him, Beware of that thou bring not my son thither. The Lorde God of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land where I was born, and which spake unto me and sware unto me, saying, Unto thy seed will I give this land, he shall send his angel before thee, that thou mayest take a wife unto my son from thence. Nevertheless, if the woman will not agree to come with thee, then, Genesis, shalt thou be without danger of this oath, but above all things bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, and sware to him as concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed, and had of all manner goods of his master with him, and stood up and went to Mesopotamia, unto the city of Nahor, and made his camels to lie down without the city by a well side of water at even, about the time that women come out to draw water. And he said, Lorde, God of my master Abraham, send me good speed this day, and show mercy unto my master Abraham. Lo, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of this city will come out to draw water. Now the damsel to whom I say, Stoop down thy pitcher, and let me drink. If she say, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also, the same is she that thou hast ordained for thy servant Isaac. Yea, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed mercy on my master. And it came to pass, ere he had left speaking, that Rebekah came out, the daughter of Bethuel, son to Milcah the wife of Nahor Abraham's brother, and her pitcher upon her shoulder. The damsel was very fair to look upon, and yet a maid and unknown of man. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up again. Then the servant ran unto her, and said, Let me sip a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, Drink, my lord. And she hasted, and let down her pitcher upon her arm, and gave him drink. And when she had given him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also, until they have drunk enough. And she poured out her pitcher into the trough hastily, and ran again unto the well to fetch water, and drew for all his camels. And the fellow wondered at her, but held his peace to wait whether the Lorde had made his journey prosperous or not. And as the camels had left drinking, he took an earring of 1/2 sickle weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands of 10 sickles weight of gold, and said unto her, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor, and said moreover unto him, We have litter and provender enough, and also room to lodge in. And the man bowed himself and worshipped the Lord, and said, Blessed be the Lorde God of my master Abra. Genesis. Ham, which ceaseth not to deal mercifully and truly with my master, and hath brought me the way to my master's brother's house. And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. And Rebekah had a brother called Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man to the well, for as soon as he had seen the earrings and the bracelets upon his sister's hands, and heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, Thus said the man unto me, then he went out unto the man. And lo, he stood yet with the camels by the well side. And Laban said, Come in, thou blessed of the Lord. Wherefore standest thou without? I have dressed the house and made room for the camels. And then the man came into the house, and he unbridled the camels, and brought litter and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet and their feet that were with him. And there was meat set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have said mine errand. And he said, Say on. And he said, I am Abraham's servant, and the Lorde hath blessed my master out of measure, that he is become great, and hath given him sheep, oxen, silver, and gold, men servants, maidservants, camels, and asses. And Sarah my master's wife bare him a son when she was old, and unto him hath he given all that he hath. And my master made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son among the daughters of the Canaanites in whose land I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my father's house and to my kindred, and there take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, What if the wife will not follow me? And he said unto me, The Lorde before whom I walk will send his angel with thee, and prosper thy journey, that thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. But and if, when thou comest unto my kindred, they will not give thee one, then shalt thou bear no peril of mine oath. And I came this day unto the well, and said, O Lorde, the God of my master Abraham, if it be so that thou makest my journey which I go prosperous, behold, I stand by this well of water. And when a virgin cometh forth to draw water, and I say to her, Give me a little water of thy pitcher to drink, and she say again to me, Drink thou, and I will also draw water for thy camels, that same is the wife, whom the Lorde hath prepared for my master's son. And before I had made an end of speaking in mine heart, behold, Rebekah came forth, and her Genesis pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down unto the well and drew. And I said unto her, Give me drink. And she made haste, and took down her pitcher from off her, and said, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. And I drank, and she gave the camels drink also. And I asked her, saying, Whose daughter art thou? And she answered, The daughter of Bethuel Nahor's son, whom Milcah bare unto him. And I put the earring upon her face, and the bracelets upon her hands. And I bowed myself, and worshipped the Lorde, and blessed the Lorde God of my master Abraham, which had brought me the right way, to take my master's brother's daughter unto his son. Now there, for if ye will deal mercifully and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me also, that I may turn me to the right hand or to the left. Then answered Laban and Bethuel, saying, The thing is proceeded even out of the Lorde. We cannot therefore say unto thee either good or bad. Behold Rebekah before thy face, take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, even as the Lorde hath said. And when Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed himself unto the Lorde flat upon the earth. And the servant took forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. But unto her brother and to her mother he gave spices. And then they ate and drank, both he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night, and rose up in the morning. And he said, Let me depart unto my master. But her brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a while, and it be but even 10 days, and then go thy ways. And he said unto them, Hinder me not, for the Lorde hath prospered my journey. Send me away, that I may go unto my master. And they said, Let us call the damsel, and wit what she saith to the matter. And they called forth Rebekah, and said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, Yea. Then they brought Rebekah their sister on the way, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and the men that were with him. And they blessed Rebekah, and said unto her, Thou art our sister, grow into thou sand thousands, and thy seed possess the gates of their enemies. And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and sat them up upon the camels, and went their way after the man. And the servant took Rebekah, and went his way. And Isaac was a-coming from the well of the living and seeing, for he dwelt in the Genesis, south country, and was gone out to walk in his meditations before the eventide. And he lift up his eyes, and looked, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lift up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel, and said unto the servant, What man is this that cometh against us in the field? And the servant said, It is my master. And then she took her mantle, and put it about her. And the servant told Isaac all that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And so was Isaac comforted over his mother. Abraham took him another wife called Keturah, which bare Kittiphith, him Simran, Jackson, Medan, Midian, Jezbak, and Suah. And Jackson begat Seba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asurim, Letusim, and Lumim. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were the children of Bethuel. But Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. And unto the sons of his concubines he gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. These are the days of the life of Abraham which he lived, 175 years, and then fell sick and died in a lusty age. when he had lived enough, and was put unto his people. And his sons Isaac and Ismael buried him in the double cave in the field of Ephron son of Zoar the Hethite before Mamre, which field Abraham bought of the sons of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And after the death of Abraham, God blessed Isaac his son, which dwelt by the well of the living and seeing. These are the generations of Ismael Abraham's son, which Hagar the Egyptian Sarah's handmaid bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ismael, with their names in their kindreds. The eldest son of Ismael, Nebaioth, then Redar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Misma, Duma, Massa, Hadar, Thema, Jetur, Naphis, and Kedma. These are the sons of Ismael, and these are their names in their towns and castles, 12 princes of nations. And these are the years of the life of Ismael, 137 years, and then he fell sick and died, and was laid unto his people. And he dwelt from Evilah unto Sur, that is before Egypt, as men go toward the Assyrians. And he died in the presence of all his brethren, and these are the other, Keturah. Genesis. The generations of Isaac Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40-year-old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Mesopotamia, and Sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac made intercession unto the Lorde for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lorde was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children strove together within her. Then she said, If it should go so to pass, what helpeth it that I am with child? And she went and asked the Lorde. And the Lorde said unto her, There are 2 manner of people in thy womb, and 2 nations shall spring out of thy bowels, and the one nation shall be mightier than the other, and the eldest shall be servant unto the younger. And when her time was come to be delivered, behold, there were 2 twins in her womb, and he that came out first was red and rough over all as it were an hide, and they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out, and his hand holding Esau by the heel, wherefore his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 40-year-old when she bare them, and the boys grew, and Esau became a cunning hunter and a tillman. But Jacob was a simple man, and dwelled in the tents. Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field and was fainty, and said to Jacob, Let me sip of that red pottage, for I am fainty. And therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau answered, Lo, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do me? And Jacob said, Swear to me then this day. And he swore to him, and sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of red rice, and he ate and drank, and rose up, and went his way. And so Esau regarded not his birthright. And there fell a dearth in the land, passing the first dearth the 16th that fell in the days of Abraham. Wherefore Isaac went unto Abimelech king of the Philistines unto Gerar. Then the Lorde appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, but bide in the land which I say unto thee. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham thy father, and will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed. Genesis. All these countries, and thorough thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham hearkened unto my voice, and kept mine ordinances, commandments, statutes, and laws. And Isaac dwelled in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said that she was his sister, for he feared to call her his wife, lest the men of the place should have killed him for her sake, because she was beautiful to the eye. And it happened after he had been there long time, that Abimelech king of the Philistines looked out at a window, and saw Isaac sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech sent for Isaac, and said, See, she is of a surety thy wife, and why saidest thou that she was thy sister? And Isaac said unto him, I thought that I might peradventure have died for her sake. Then said Abimelech, Why hast thou done this unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain by thy wife, and so shouldest thou have brought sin upon us. Then Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely die for it. And Isaac sowed in the land, and found in the same year 100 bushels. For the Lord blessed him, and the man waxed mighty, and went forth and grew till he was exceeding great, that he had possession of sheep, of oxen, and a mighty household, so that the Philistines had envy at him, insomuch that they stopped and filled up with earth all the wells which his father's servants digged in his father Abraham's time. Then said Abimelech unto Isaac, Get thee from me, for thou art mightier than we a great deal. Then Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the Valley Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again, the wells of water which they digged in the days of Abraham his father, which the Philistines had stopped after the death of Abraham, and gave them the same names which his father gave them. As Isaac's servants digged in the valley, they found a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. Then called he the well Esek, because they strove with him. Then digged they another well, and they strove for that also. Therefore called he it Sitena. And then he departed thence, and digged another well, for the which they strove not. Therefore called he it Rehoboth, saying, The Lorde hath now made us room, and we are 5 other living. Genesis increased upon the earth. Afterward departed he thence, and came to Beersheba. And the Lorde appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And then he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lorde, and there pitched his tent. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then came Abimelech to him from Gerar, and Ahusath his friend, and Piechol his chief captain. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have put me away from you? Then said they, We saw that the Lorde was with thee, and therefore we said that there should be an oath betwixt us and thee, and that we would make a bond with thee, that thou shouldest do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and have done unto thee nothing but good, and send thee away in peace, for thou art now the blessed of the Lorde. And he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. And they rose up by times in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away. And they departed from him in peace. And the same day came Isaac's servants, and told him of a well which they had digged, and said unto him that they had found water. And he called it Seba, wherefore the name of the city is called Beersheba unto this day. When Esau was 40-year-old, he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri an Hethite, and Basmath, the daughter of Elon an Hethite also, which were disobedient unto Isaac and Rebekah. And it came to pass that Isaac waxed old, and his eyes were exceeding dim, so that he could not see. Then called he Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Here am I. And he said, Behold, I am old, and know not the day of my death. Now therefore take thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and get thee to the fields, and take me some venison, and make me meat such as I love, and bring it me, and let me eat, that my soul may bless thee before that I die. But Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And as soon as Esau was gone to the field to catch venison and to bring it, she spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I have heard thy father talking with Esau thy brother, and saying, Bring me venison, and make me meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lorde ere I die. Now therefore, my son, hear my Genesis voice in that which I command thee. Get thee to the flock, and bring me thence 2 good kids, and I will make meat of them for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, and he shall eat, that he may bless thee before his death. Then said Jacob to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is rough, and I am smooth. My father shall peradventure feel me, and I shall seem unto him as though I went about to beguile him, and so shall he bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only hear my voice, and go and fetch me them. And Jacob went and fetched them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made meat of them, according as his father loved. And she went and fetched goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which she had in the house with her, and put them upon Jacob her youngest son. And she put the skins upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she put the meat and bread which she had made in the hand of her son Jacob. And he went in to his father, saying, My father. And he answered, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy eldest son. I have done according as thou badest me. Up and sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. But Isaac said unto his son, How cometh it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? He answered, The Lorde thy God brought it to my hand. Then said Isaac unto Jacob, Come near, and let me feel thee, my son, whether thou be my son Esau or not. Then went Jacob to Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he knew him not, because his hands were rough as his brother Esau's hands, and so he blessed him. And he asked him, Art thou my son Esau? And he said, That I am. Then said he, Bring me, and let me eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought him, and he ate. And he brought him wine also, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near, and kiss me, my son. And he went to him, and kissed him. And he smelled the savour of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. God give thee of the dew of heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. People be thy servants, and nations bow unto thee. Be Lord over thy Genesis. Brethren and thy mother's children stoop unto thee. Cursed be he that curseth thee, and blessed asterisk be he that blesseth thee. As soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, then came Esau his brother from his hunting, and had made also meat, and brought it in unto his father, and said unto him, Arise, my father, and eat of thy son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. Then his father Isaac said unto him, Who art thou? He answered, I am thy eldest son Esau. And Isaac was greatly astonished out of measure, and said, Where is he then that hath hunted venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all beef, for thou camest, and have blessed him, and he shall be blessed still. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out greatly and bitterly above measure, and said unto his father, Bless me also, my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Then said he, He may well be called Jacob, for he hath undermined me now 2 times. First he took away my birthright, and see, now hath he taken away my blessing also. And he said, Hast thou kept never a blessing for me? Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his mother's children have I made his servants. Moreover, with corn and wine have I stablished him. What can I do unto thee now, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but that one blessing, my father? Bless me also, my father. So lifted up Esau his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling place shall have of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And with thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt be thy brother's servant. But the time will come when thou shalt get the mastery, and louse his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob, because of the blessing that his father blessed him withal, and said in his heart, The days of my father's sorrow are at hand, for I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau her eldest son were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her youngest son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau threateneth to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, hear my voice, make thee ready, and flee to Laban my brother at Haran, and tarry with him a while, until thy brother's fierceness be swagged, and unvie other. Lesed. Genesis. Till thy brother's wrath turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then will I send and fetch thee away from thence. Why should I lose you both in one day? And Rebekah spake to Isaac, I am weary of my life for fear of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such one as these are, or of the daughters of the land, what lust should I have to live? Then Isaac called Jacob his son, and blessed him, and charged 38 him, and said unto him, See thou take not a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but arise and get thee to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and there take thee a wife of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, increase thee, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a number of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham, both to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest possess the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. Thus Isaac sent forth Jacob to go to Mesopotamia unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, and brother to Rebekah Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him to Mesopotamia to fetch him a wife thence, and that as he blessed him he gave him a charge, saying, See thou take not a wife of the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and mother, and was gone unto Mesopotamia, and seeing also that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went he unto Ismael, and took unto the wives which he had, Mahalah the daughter of Ismael Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife. Jacob departed from Beersheba, and went toward Haran, and came unto a place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was down, and took a stone of the place, and put it under his head, and laid him down in the same place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, there stood a ladder upon the earth, and the top of it reached up to heaven. And see, the angels of God went up and down upon it. Yea, and the Lorde stood upon it, and said, I am the Lorde God of Abraham thy fay, there, and the God of Isaac. The land which thou sleepest upon will I give thee and thy seed, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad, west, east, north, and south, and thorough thee and thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed. And see, I am with thee, and Genesis will be thy keeper in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. neither will I leave thee until I have made good all that I have promised thee." When Jacob was awaked out of his sleep, he said, "Surely the Lorde is in this place, and I was not aware." And he was afraid and said, "How fearful is this place! It is none other, but even the house of God and the gate of heaven." And Jacob stood up early in the morning and took the stone that he had laid under his head, and pitched it up on end, and poured oil on the top of it. And he called the name of the place Bethel, for indeed the name of the city was called Luz before time. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, "If God will be with me, and will keep me in this journey which I go, and will give me bread to eat, and clothes to put on, so that I come again unto my father's house in safety, then shall the Lorde be my God, and this stone which I have set up an end shall be God's house. And of all that thou shalt give me will I give the 10th unto thee." Then Jacob lifted up his feet, and went toward the east count Tri. And as he looked about, behold, there was a well in the field, and 3 flocks of sheep lay thereby, for at that well were the flocks watered. And there lay a great stone at the well mouth. And the manner was to bring the flocks thither, and to roll the stone from the well's mouth, and to water the sheep, and to put the stone again upon the well's mouth unto his place. And Jacob said unto them, "Brethren, whence be ye?" And they said, "Of Haran are we." And he said unto them, "Know ye Laban the son of Nahor?" And they said, "We know him." And he said unto them, "Is he in good health?" And they said, "He is in good health, and behold, his daughter Rahel cometh with the sheep." And he said, "Lo, it is yet a great while tonight, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water the sheep, and go and feed them." And they said, "We may not, until all the flocks be brought together, and the stone be rolled from the well's mouth, and so we water our sheep." While he yet talked with them, Rahel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. As soon as Jacob saw Rahel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, he went and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rahel, and lifted up his voice, and wept, and told Genesis, her also that he was her father's brother, and Rebekah's son. Then Rahel ran and told her father. When Laban heard tell of Jacob his sister's son, he ran against him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him into his house. And then Jacob told Laban all the matter. And then Laban said, "Well, thou art my bone and my flesh. Abide with me the space of a month." And afterward Laban said unto Jacob, "Though thou be my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?" And Laban had 2 daughters, the eldest called Leah, and the youngest Rahel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rahel was beautiful and well-favoured. And Jacob loved her well, and said, "I will serve thee 7 years for Rahel thy youngest daughter." And Laban answered, "It is better that I give her thee than to another man. Bide therefore with me." And Jacob served 7 years for Rahel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, "Give me my wife, that I may lie with her, for the time appointed me is come." Then Laban bade all the men of that place, and made a feast. And when even was come, he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid to be her servant. And when the morning was come, behold, it was Leah. Then said he to Laban, "Wherefore hast thou played thus with me? Did not I serve thee for Rahel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?" Laban answered, "It is not the manner of this place to marry the youngest before the eldest. Pass out this week, and then shall this also be given thee for the service which thou shalt serve me yet 7 years more." And Jacob did even so, and passed out that week. And then he gave him Rahel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rahel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her servant. So lay he by Rahel also, and loved Rahel more than Leah, and served him yet 7 years more. When the Lorde saw that Leah was despised, he made her fruitful, but Rahel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and called his name Reuben, for she said, "The Lorde hath looked upon my tribulation, and now my husband will love me." And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, "The Lorde hath heard that I am despised, and hath therefore given me this son also." And she called him Simeon. And she conceived yet, and bare a son, and said, "Now, Genesis, this once will my husband keep me company, because I have borne him 3 sons. And therefore she called his name Levi. And she conceived yet again, and bare a son, saying, Now will I praise the Lorde. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. When Rahel saw that she bare Jacob no children, she and vied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I am but dead. Then was Jacob wroth with Rahel, saying, Am I in God's stead, which keepeth from thee the fruit of thy womb? Then she said, Here is my maid Bilhah. Go in unto her, that she may bear upon my lap, that I may be increased by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. Then said Rahel, God hath given sentence on my side, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she him Dan. And Bilhah Rahel's maid conceived again, and bare Jacob another son. And Rahel said, God is turned, and I have made a change with my sister, and have gotten the upper hand. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Silpha her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Silpha Leah's maid bare Jacob a son. Then said Leah, Good luck, and called his name Gad. And Silpha Leah's maid bare Jacob another son. Then said Leah, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed, and called his name Aser. And Reuben went out in the wheat harvest, and found mandragoras in the fields, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then said Rahel to Leah, Give me of thy sons mandragoras. And Leah answered, Is it not enough that thou hast taken away my husband, but wouldest take away my sons mandragoras also? Then said Rahel, Well, let him sleep with thee this night, for thy sons mandragoras. And when Jacob came from the fields at even, Leah went out to meet him, and said, Come in to me, for I have bought thee with my sons mandragoras. And he slept with her that night. And God heard Leah, that she conceived and bare unto Jacob the fifth son. Then said Leah, God hath given me my reward, because I gave my maiden to my husband, and she called him Issachar. And Leah conceived yet again, and bare Jacob the sixth son. Then said she, God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons, and called Genesis, his name Zabulon. After that she bare a daughter, and called her Dinah. And God remembered Rahel, heard her, and made her fruitful, so that she conceived and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my rebuke. And she called his name Joseph, saying, The Lorde give me yet another son. As soon as Rahel had borne Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest what service I have done thee. Then said Laban unto him, If I have found favour in thy sight, for I suppose that the Lorde hath blessed me for thy sake, appoint what thy reward shall be, and I will give it thee. But he said unto him, Thou knowest what service I have done thee, and in what taking thy cattle have been under me. For it was but little that thou hadst before I came, and now it is increased into a multitude. And the Lorde hath blessed thee for my sake. But now when shall I make provision for mine own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob answered, Thou shalt give me nothing at all, if thou wilt do this one thing for me. And then will I turn again and feed thy sheep and keep them. I will go about all thy sheep this day, and separate from them all the sheep that are spotted and of divers colours, and all black sheep among the lambs and the party, and spot-tailed among the kids. And then such shall be my reward. So shall my righteousness answer for me, when the time cometh that I shall receive my reward of thee. So that whatsoever is not speckled and party among the goats and black among the lambs, let that be theft with me. Then said Laban, Lo, I am content that it be according as thou hast said. And he took out that same day the he-goats that were party and of divers colours, and all the goats that were spotted and party-coloured, and all that had white in them, and all the black among the lambs, and put them in the keeping of his sons, and set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And so Jacob kept the rest of Laban's sheep. Jacob took rods of green poplar, hazel, and of chestnut trees, and pilled white streaks in them, and made the white appear in the staves. And he put the staves which he had pilled, even before the sheep, in the gutters and watering troughs when the sheep came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the sheep Genesis sieved before the staves, and brought forth streaked, spotted, and party. Then Jacob parted the lambs, and turned the faces of the sheep toward spotted things, and toward all manner of black things thorough out the flocks of Laban. And he made him flocks of his own by themselves, which he put not unto the flocks of Laban. And alway in the first bucking time of the sheep, Jacob put the staves before the sheep in the gutters, that they might conceive before the staves. But in the latter bucking time he put them not there. So the last brood was Laban's, and the first Jacob's. And the man became exceeding rich, and had many sheep, maidservants, menservants, camels, and asses. And Jacob heard the words of Laban's sons, how they said, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of our fa. There's goods hath he gotten all this honour. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, that it was not toward him as it was in times past. And the Lorde said unto Jacob, Turn again into the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. Then Jacob sent and called Rahel and Leah to the field unto his sheep, and said unto them, I see your fathers' countenance, that it is not toward me as in times past. Moreover, the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know how that I have served your father with all my might. And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. When he said, The spot, Ted shall be thy wages, then all the sheep bear spotted. If he said, The streaked shall be thy reward, then bear all the sheep streaked. Thus hath God taken away your father's cattle and given them me. For in bucking time I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream. And behold, the rams that bucked the sheep were streaked, spotted, and party. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I answered, Here am I. And he said, Lift up thine eyes and see how all the rams that leap upon the sheep are streaked, spotted, and party. For I have seen all that Laban doth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointedest the stone, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now arise and get thee out of this country, and return unto the land where thou wast born. Then answered Rahel and Leah, and said unto him, We have no part nor inheritance in our father's house. He counteth us even as strangers, vive other, deceived. Genesis. For he hath sold us, and hath even eaten up the price of us. Moreover, all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now therefore whatsoever God hath said unto thee, that do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and wives up upon camels, and carried away all his cattle and all his substance which he had gotten in Mesopotamia. For to go to Isaac his father unto the land of Canaan, Laban was gone to shear his sheep, and Rahel had stolen her father's ages. And Jacob went away unknowing to Laban the Syrian, and told him not that he fled. So fled he and all that he had, and made himself ready, and passed over the rivers, and set his face straight toward the Mount Gilead. Upon the 3rd day after was it told Laban that Jacob was fled. Then he took his brethren with him, and followed after him 7 days' journey, and overtook him at the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed to thyself that thou speak not to Jacob aught save good. And Laban overtook Jacob, and Jacob had pitched his tent in that mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched their tent also upon the Mount Gilead. Then said Laban to Jacob, Why hast thou this done unknowing to me, and hast carried away my daughters as though they had been taken captive with sword? Wherefore wentest thou away secretly unknown to me, and didst not tell me, that I might have brought thee on the way with mirth, singing timbrels and harps, and hast not suffered me to kiss my children and my daughters? Thou wast a fool to do it, for I am able to do you evil. But the God of your father spake unto me yesterday, saying, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob aught save good. And now though thou wentest thy way, because thou longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, and thought that thou wouldest have taken away thy daughters from me. But with whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him die here before our brethren. Seek that thine is by me, and take it to thee. For Jacob wist not that Rahel had stolen them. Then went Laban into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into 2 maidens' tents, but found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rahel's tent. And Rahel took the other. Iacob stale away the heart of other, steal away my heart. Genesis ages, and put them in the camel's straw, and sat down upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. Then said she to her father, My lord, be not angry that I cannot rise up before thee, for the disease of women is come upon me. So searched he, but found them not. Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. Jacob also answered and said to him, What have I trespassed, or what have I offended, that thou foal-loadest after me? Thou hast searched all my stuff, and what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Put it here before thy brethren and mine, and let them judge betwixt us both. This 20 year that I have been with thee, thy sheep and thy goats have not been barren, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. Whatsoever was torn of beasts I brought it not unto thee, but made it good myself. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether it was stolen by day or night. Moreover by day the heat consumed me, and the cold by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 year in thy house, and served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 year for thy sheep, and thou hast changed my reward 10 times. and except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the God whom Isaac feareth, had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now all empty. But God beheld my tribulation, and the labour of my hands, and rebuked thee yesterday. Laban answered and said unto Jacob, The daughters are my daughters, and the children are my children, and the sheep are my sheep, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come on, let us make a bond, I and thou together, and let it be a witness between thee and me. Then took Jacob a stone, and set it up on end, and said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones, and made an heap, and they ate there upon the heap. And Laban called it Zegah-Sahadutha, but Jacob called Gilead. Then said Laban, This heap be witness between thee and me this day, therefore is it called Gilead. And this Toot hill which the Lorde seeth, said he, be witness between me and thee when we are departed one from another, that thou shalt not vex my daughters, neither shalt take other wives unto them. Here is no man with us, behold, God is witness betwixt thee and me. And Laban said moreover to Jacob, Behold this heap and this Genesis, mark which I have set here betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and also this mark, that I will not come over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not come over this heap and this mark to do any harm. The God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, and the God of their fathers be judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by him that his father Isaac feared. Then Jacob did sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they ate bread, and tarried all night in the hill. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his children and his daughters, and blessed them, and departed, and went unto his place again. But Jacob went forth on his journey, and the angels of God of Phethahue came and met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is God's host, and called the name of that same place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir and the field of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, See that ye speak after this manner to my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned and been a stranger with Laban unto this time, and have gotten oxen, asses, and sheep, men servants and women servants, and have sent to show it my lord, that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messengers came again to Jacob, saying, We came unto thy brother Esau, and he cometh against thee, and 400 men with him. Then was Jacob greatly afraid, and wist not which way to turn himself, and divided the people that was with him, and the sheep, oxen, and camels, into 2 companies, and said, If Esau come to the one part and smite it, the other may save itself. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, Lorde, which saidest unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff came I over this Jordan, and now have I gotten 2 droves. Deliver me from the hands of my brother Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite the mother with the children. Thou saidest that thou wouldest surely do me good, and wouldest make my seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he tarried there that same night, and took of that which came to hand, a present unto Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 Genesis. He-goats, 200 sheep and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals, and delivered them unto his servants. Every drove by themselves, and said unto them, Go forth before me, and put a space betwixt every drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose servant art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these that go before thee? Thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's, and are a present sent unto my lord Esau. And behold, he himself cometh after us. And so commanded he the second, and even so the third, and likewise all that followed the droves, saying, Of this manner see that ye speak unto Esau when ye meet him, and say moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob cometh after us, for he said, I will appease his wrath with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see him myself. So peradventure he will receive me to grace. So went the present before him, and he tarried all that night in the tent, and rose up the same night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 maidens, and his 11 sons, and went over the ford Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the river, and sent over that he had, and tarried behind himself alone. And there wrestled a man with him unto the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he could not prevail against him, he smote him under the thigh, and the sinew of Jacob's thigh shrank as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? He answered, Jacob. And he said, Thou shalt be called Jacob no more, but Israel. For thou hast wrestled with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him, saying, Tell me thy name. And he said, Wherefore dost thou ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and yet is my life reserved. And as he went over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Wherefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew that shrank under the thigh unto this day, because that he smote Jacob under the thigh and the sinew that shrank. Jacob lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Esau come, and actually 3 with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Genesis, Leah, and unto Rahel, and unto the 2 maidens. And he put the maidens and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rahel and Joseph hindermost. And he went before them, and fell on the ground 7 times, until he came unto his brother. Esau ran against him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the wives and their children, and said, What are these which thou there hast? And he said, They are the children which God hath given thy servant. Then came the maidens forth, and did their obeisance. Leah also and her children came, and did their obeisance. And last of all came Joseph and Rahel, and did their obeisance. And he said, What meanest thou with all the droves which I met? And he answered, To find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. Jacob answered, O nay, but if I have found grace in thy sight, receive my present of my hand. For I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God. Wherefore receive me to grace, and take my blessing that I have brought thee, for God hath given it me freely. And I have enough of all things. And so he compelled him to take it. And he said, Let us take our journey and go, and I will go in thy company. And he said unto him, My Lord knoweth that I have tender children, ewes and kine with young under mine hand, which if men should overdrive but even one day, the whole flock would die. Let my Lord therefore go before his servant, and I will drive fair and softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me and the children be able to endure, until I come to my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me yet leave some of my folk with thee. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau went his way again that same day unto Seir. And Jacob took his journey toward Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle, whereof the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob went to Salem to the city of Shechem in the land of Canaan. After that he was come from Mesopotamia, and pitched before the city, and bought a parcel of ground where he pitched his tent, of the children of Hamor Shechem's father, for 100 lambs. And he made there an altar, and there called upon the mighty God of Israel, other to meet. Vave other came peaceably in. Genesis. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went hafty forth out to see the daughters of the land. And Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, lord of the country, saw her, and took her, and lay with her, and forced her. And his heart lay unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto her, and spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this maiden unto my wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter, but his sons were with the cattle in the field, and therefore he held his peace until they were come. Then Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him, and the sons of Jacob came out of the field as soon as they heard it, for it grieved them. And they were not a little wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, in that he had lain with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. Give her him to wife, and make marriages with us. Give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and dwell with us. And the land shall be at your pleasure. Dwell and do your business, and have your possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and whatsoever ye appoint me, that will I give. Ask freely of me both the dowry and gifts, and I will give according as ye say unto me, and give me the damsel to wife. Then the sons of Jacob answered to Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, that we should give our sis to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a shame unto us. Only in this will we consent unto you. If ye will be as we be, that all the men children among you be circumcised, then will we give our daughter to you, and take yours to us, and will dwell with you and be one people. But and if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter and go our ways. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem his son. And the young man deferred not for to do the thing, because he had a lust to Jacob's daughter. He was also most set by of all that were in his father's house. Then Hamor and Shechem went unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, and will dwell in the land and do their occupation therein. Genesis. And in the land is room enough for them, let us take their daughters to wives and give them ours. Only herein will they consent unto us for to dwell with us and to be one people. If all the men children that are among us be circumcised as they are, their goods and their substance and all their cattle are ours, only let us consent unto them, that they may dwell with us. And unto Hamor and Shechem his son hearkened all that went out at the gate of his city. And all the men children were circumcised whatsoever went out at the gates of his city. And the third day, when it was painful to them, 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi Dinah's brethren, took either of them his sword, and went into the city boldly, and slew all that was male, and slew also Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah their sister out of Shechem's house, and went their way. Then came the sons of Jacob upon the deed, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister, and took their sheep, oxen, asses, and whatsoever was in the city, and also in the fields. And all their goods, all their children and their wives took they captive, and made havoc of all that was in the houses. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me, and made me stink unto the inhabitants of the land, both to the Canaanites and also unto the Perizzites, and I am few in number. Wherefore they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and so shall I and my house be destroyed. And they answered, Should they deal with our sister as with an whore? And God said unto Jacob, Arise and get thee up to Bethel, 5, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from Esau thy brother. Then said Jacob unto his household and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and make yourselves clean, and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, that I may make an altar there unto God, which heard me in the day of my tribulation, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were under their hands, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under an oak at Shechem. And they departed. And the fear of God fell upon the cities that were round about them, that they durst not foal low after the sons of Jacob. So came Jacob to Luz in the land of Genesis Canaan, otherwise called Bethel, with all the people that was with him. And he builded there an altar, and called the place El-Bethel, because that God appeared unto him there when he fled from his brother. Then died Deborah Rebekah's nurse, and was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called the Oak of Lamentation. And God appeared unto Jacob again after he came out of Mesopotamia, and blessed him, and said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Notwithstanding thou shalt be no more called Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And so was his name called Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty, grow and multiply. For people and a multitude of people shall spring of thee, yea, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac will I give unto thee, and unto thy seed after thee will I give it also. And God departed from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a mark in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone, and poured drink offering thereon, and poured also oil thereon, and called the name of the place where God spake with him Bethel. And they departed from Bethel. And when he was but a field bred from Ephrath, Rahel began to travail, and in travailing she was in peril. And as she was in pains of her labour, the midwife said unto her, Fear not, for thou shalt have this son also. Then as her soul was departing that she must die, she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Ben-Jamin. And thus died Rahel, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which now is called Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a pillar upon her grave, which is called Rahel's grave pillar unto this day. And Israel went thence, and pitched up his tent beyond the tower of Adah. And it chanced, as Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah his father's concubine, and it came to Israel's ear. The sons of Jacob were 12 in number, the sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's eldest son, and Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zabulon. The sons of Rahel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah Rahel's maid, Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah Leah's maid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons which were born him in Mesopotamia. Then Jacob went unto Isaac his father to Mamre, a principal city, otherwise called Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned as strangers. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And then, Genesis, fell he sick and died, and was put unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. These are the generations of Esau, which is called Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah the daughter of Elon and Hethite, and Ahalibama the daughter of Anna, which Anna was the son of Zibeon and Hevite, and Basmath Ismael's daughter and sister of Nebaioth. And Adah bare unto Esau Eliphaz, and Basmath bare Reguel, and Ahalibama bare Jus, Jalem, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau which were born him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, his sons and daughters, and all the souls of his house, his goods and all his cattle and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into a country away from his brother Jacob. For their riches was so much that they could not dwell together, and that the land wherein they were strangers could not receive them, because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, which Esau is called Edom. These are the generations of Esau, father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. And these are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz the son of Adah the wife of Esau, and Reguel the son of Basmath the wife of Esau also. And the sons of Eliphaz were Theman, Omar, Zepho, Githam, and Kenas. And Thimnah was concubine to Eliphaz Esau's son, and bare unto Eliphaz Amalek. And these be the sons of Adah Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reguel, Nahath, Serah, Sama, and Misa. These were the sons of Basmath Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Ahalibama Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna son of Zebeon, which she bare unto Esau, Jus, Jalem, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau. The children of Eliphaz the first son of Esau were these: Duke Theman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenas, Duke Korah, Duke Gatham, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom, and these were the sons of Adah. These were the children of Reguel Esau's son: Duke Nahath, Duke Serah, Duke Sama, Duke Misa. These are the dukes that came of Reguel in the land of Edom, and these were the sons of Basmath Esau's wife. These were the children of Ahalibama Esau's wife: Duke Jus, Duke Galem, Duke Korah. These dukes came of Ahalibama the daughter of Anna Esau's wife. These v. other, son. Genesis are the children of Esau, and these are the dukes of them, which Esau is called Edom. These are the children of Seir the Horite, the inhabitor of the land: Lothan, Sobal, Zibeon, Anna, Desan, Esar, and Disan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lothan were Hori and Hemam, and Lothan's sister was called Thimnah. The children of Sobal were these: Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Sepho, and Onam. These were the children of Zibeon. Aya and Anna, this was that Anna that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed his father Zibeon's asses. The children of Anna were these: Desan and Ahalibama, the daughter of Anna. These are the children of Disan: Hemdan, Esban, Jethran, and Cheran. The children of Ezer were these: Bilhan, Sivan, and Akan. The children of Disan were Ur and Aaron. These are the dukes that came of Hori: Duke Lothan, Duke Sobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anna, Duke Desan, Duke Ezer, Duke Disan. These be the dukes that came of Hori in their dukedoms in the land of Seir. These are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, for there reigned any king among the children of Israel. Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edomea, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And when Bela died, Jobab the son of Serah out of Bezarah reigned in his stead. When Jobab was dead, Husam of the land of Themani reigned in his stead. And after the death of Husam, Hadad the son of Bedad, which slew the Madianites in the field of the Moabites, reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Avith. When Hadad was dead, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. When Samlah was dead, Saul of the river Rehoboth reigned in his stead. When Saul was dead, Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And after the death of Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor, Hadad reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Pagu. And his wife's name Mehetabel, the daughter of Metred, the daughter of Mesab. These are the names of the dukes that came of Esau in their kindreds, places, and names: Duke Thimah, Duke Alua, Duke Jethath, Duke Ahalibama, Duke Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenas, Duke Theman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Eram. These be the dukes of Edomia in their habitations, in the land of their possessions. This Esau is the father of the Edomites. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger. Kti. Genesis. that is to say, in the land of Canaan. And these are the generations of Jacob. When Joseph was 17-year-old, he kept sheep with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and of Zilpah his father's wives. And he brought unto their father an evil saying that was of them. And Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he begat him in his old age, and he made him a coat of many colours. When his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak one kind word unto him. Moreover, Joseph dreamed a dream and told it his brethren. Wherefore they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. Behold, we were making sheaves in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose and stood upright, and yours stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. Then said his brethren unto him, What, shalt thou be our king, or shalt thou reign over us? And they hated him yet the more because of his dream and of his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, saying, Behold, I have had one dream more. Methought the sun asterisk and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. And when he had told it unto his father and his brethren, his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What meaneth this dream which thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren come and fall on the ground before thee? And his brethren hated him, but his father noted the saying. His brethren went to keep their father's sheep in Shechem, and Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren keep in Shechem? Come that I may send thee to them. And he answered, Here am I. And he said unto him, Go and see whether it be well with thy brethren and the sheep, and bring me word again. And sent him out of the vale of Hebron for to go to Shechem. And a certain man found him wandering out of his way in the field, and asked him what he sought. And he answered, I seek my brethren, tell me, I pray thee, where they keep sheep. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go unto Dothan. Thus went Joseph to his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off before he came at them, they took counsel against him for to slay him, and said one to another, Behold, we other son, we other counsel. Genesis. This dreamer cometh, come now, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And let us say that son wicked beast hath devoured him, and let us see what his dreams will come to. When Reuben heard that, he went about to rid him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said moreover unto them, Shed not his blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, for he would have rid him out of their hands, and delivered him to his father again. And as soon as Joseph was come unto his brethren, they stripped him out of his gay coat that was upon him, and they took him and cast him into a pit. But the pit was empty, and had no water therein. And they sat them down to eat bread. And as they lift up their eyes and looked about, there came a company of Ishmaelites from Gilead, and their camels laden with spicery, balm, and myrrh, and were going down into Egypt. Then said Judah to his brethren, What availeth it that we slay our brother, and keep his blood secret? Come on, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be defiled upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then as the Madianites' merchantmen passed by, they drew Joseph out of the pit, and sold him unto the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought him into Egypt. And when Reuben came again unto the pit, and found not Joseph there, he rent his clothes, and went again unto his brethren, saying, The lad is not yonder, and whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a goat, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent that gay coat, and caused it to be brought unto their father, and said, This have we found. See whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, saying, It is my son's coat. A wicked beast hath devoured him, and Joseph is rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth about his loins, and sorrowed for his son a long season. Then came all his sons and all his daughters to comfort him. And he would not be comforted, but said, I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. And thus his father wept for him. And the Madianites sold him in Egypt unto Potiphar, a lord of Pharaoh's, and his chief marshal. And it fortuned at that time that Judas went from his brethren Hixti 8, and gat him to a man called Hira of Adullam, and there he other, son, Genesis, saw the daughter of a man called Sua a Canaanite. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and called his name And she conceived again, and bare a son, and called him Onan. And she conceived the third time, and bare a son, whom she called Salah. And he was at Chasib when she bare him. And Judas gave his eldest son a wife whose name was Thamar. But this Judah's eldest son was wicked in the sight of the Lorde. Wherefore the Lorde slew him. Then said Judas unto Onan, Go into thy brother's wife and marry her, and stir up seed unto thy brother. And when Onan perceived that the seed should not be his, therefore when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled it on the ground, because he would not give seed unto his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lorde, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Thamar his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Selah my son be grown. For he feared lest he should have died also, as his brethren did. Thus went Thamar and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time the daughter of Sua Judah's wife died. Then Judas, when he had left mourning, went unto his sheep-shearers to Thimnath with his friend Hira of Adullam. And one told Thamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Thimnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a cloak, and disguised herself, and sat her down at the entering of Enaim, which is by the highway's side to Thimnath, for because she saw that Selah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought it had been an whore, because she had covered her face, and turned to her unto the way, and said, Come, I pray thee, let me lie with thee, for he knew not that it was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me for to lie with me? Then said he, I will send thee a kid from the flock. She answered, Then give me a pledge till thou send it. Then said he, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, thy necklace, and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it her, and lay by her, and she was with child by him. And she gat her up, and went and put her mantle from her, and put on her widow's raiment again. And Judah sent the kid by his neighbour of Adullam, for to fetch out his pledge again from the wife's hand. But he found her not. A Genesis. Then asked he the men of the same place, saying, Where is the whore that sat at Enaim in the way? And they said, There was no whore here. And he came to Judah again, saying, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said, That there was no whore there. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. For I sent the kid, and thou couldest not find her. And it came to pass that after 3 months one told Judah, saying, Thamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the whore, and with playing the whore is become great with child. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be brent. And when they brought her forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man unto whom these things pertain, am I with child. And said also, Look whose are this seal, necklace, and staff. And Judah knew them, saying, She is more righteous than I, because I gave her not to Selah my son. But he lay with her no more. When time was come that she should be delivered, behold, there was 2 twins in her womb. And as she travailed, the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound a red thread about it, saying, This will come out first. But he plucked his hand back again, and his brother came out. And she said, Wherefore hast thou rent a rent upon thee? And called him Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the red thread about his hand, which was called Zara. Joseph was brought unto Egypt, and Potiphar, a lord of Pharaoh's, Chetanth, and his chief marshal, an Egyptian, bought him of the Ishmaelites which brought him thither. And the Lorde was with Joseph, and he was a lucky fellow, and continued in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lorde was with him, and that the Lorde made all that he did prosper in his hand. Wherefore he found grace in his master's sight, and served him. And his master made him ruler of his house, and put all that he had in his hand. And as soon as he had made him ruler over his house, and over all that he had, the Lorde blessed this Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lorde was upon all that he had, both in the house and also in the fields. And therefore he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and looked upon nothing that was with him, save only on the bread which he ate. And Joseph was a goodly person and a well-favoured. And it fortuned after this that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and said, Come lie, Genesis, with me. But he denied, and said to her, Behold, my master woteth not what he hath in the house with me, but hath committed all that he hath to my hand. He himself is not greater in the house than I, and hath kept nothing from me but only thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness, for to sin against God? And after this manner spake she to Joseph day by day. But he hearkened not unto her, to sleep near her, or to be in her company. And it fortuned about the same season that Joseph entered into the house to do his business, and there was none of the household by in the house. And she caught him by the garment, saying, Come sleep with me. And he left his garment in her hand, and fled, and got him out. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled out, she called unto the men of the house, and told them, saying, See, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to do us shame, for he came in to me for to have slept with me. But I cried with a loud voice. And when he heard that I lift up my voice and cried, he left his garment with me and fled away and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until her Lord came home. And she told him according to these words, saying, This Hebrew's servant which thou hast brought unto us came in to me to do me shame. But as soon as I lift up my voice and cried, he left his garment with me and fled out. When his master heard the words of his wife which she told him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, he waxed wroth. And he took Joseph and put him in prison, even in the place where the king's prisoners lay bound. And there continued he in prison. But the Lorde was with Joseph and showed him mercy, and got him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison, which committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison house. And whatsoever was done there, that did he. And the keeper of the prison looked unto nothing that was under his hand, because the Lorde was with him, and because that whatsoever he did, the Lorde made it come luckily to pass. And it chanced after this that the chief butler of the king XL of Egypt and his chief baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was angry with them and put them in ward in his chief marshal's house, even in the prison where Joseph was bound. And the chief marshal gave Joseph a Genesis charge with them, and he served them. And they continued a season in ward, and they dreamed either of them in one night, both the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison house, either of them his dream, and each man's dream of a sundry interpretation. When Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, behold, they were sad. And he asked them, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? They answered him, We have dreamed a dream, and have no man to declare it. And Joseph said unto them, Interpreting belongeth to God, but tell me yet. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said unto him, In my dream methought there stood a vine before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the grapes thereof waxed ripe. And I had Pharaoh's cup in my hand, and took of the grapes, and wrung them into Pharaoh's cup, and delivered Pharaoh's cup into his hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days, for within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thine office again, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the old manner, even as thou didst when thou wast his butler. But think on me with thee when thou art in good case, and show mercy unto me, and make mention of me to Pharaoh, and help to bring me out of this house. For I was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing at all, wherefore they should have put me into this dungeon. When the chief baker saw that he had well interpreted it, he said unto Joseph, Methought also in my dream that I had 3 wicker baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket of all manner bake meats for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket upon my head. Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. For this day 3 days shall Pharaoh take thy head from thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants, and restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he reached the cup into Pharaoh's hand, and hanged the chief baker, even as Joseph, Genesis, had interpreted unto them. Notwithstanding the chief butler remembered not Joseph, but forgot him. And it fortuned at 2 years' end that Pharaoh dreamed XL1, and thought that he stood by a river's side, and that there came out of the river 7 goodly kine, and fat-fleshed, and fed in a meadow. And him thought that 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, evil-favoured and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other upon the brink of the river. And the evil vored and lean-fleshed kine ate up the 7 well-favoured and fat kine, and he awoke therewith. And he slept again, and dreamed the 2nd time, that 7 ears of corn grew upon one stalk rank and goodly, and that 7 thin ears blasted with the wind sprang up after them, and that the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And then Pharaoh awaked, and see, here is his dream. When the morning came, his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the soothsayers of Egypt and all the wise men thereof, and told them his dream. But there was none of them that could interpret it unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my fault this day. Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and put in ward in the chief marshal's house both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed both of us in one night, and each man's dream of a sundry interpretation. And there was with us a young man, an Hebrew-born, servant unto the chief marshal. And we told him, and he declared our dreams to us according to either of our dreams. And as he declared them unto us, even so it came to pass. I was restored to mine office again, and he was hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they made him haste out of prison. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and went in to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and no man can interpretate it. But I have heard say of thee, that as soon as thou hearest a dream, thou dost interpretate it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace without me. Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream methought I stood by a river's side, and there came out of the river 7 fat-fleshed and well-favoured kine, and fed in the meadow. And then 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very evil-favoured and lean-fleshed, so that I never saw their like in all the land of Egypt in evil-favouredness. And the Genesis 7. Lean and evil-favoured kine ate up the first 7 fat kine, and when they had eaten them up, a man could not perceive that they had eaten them, for they were still as evil-favoured as they were at the beginning. And I awoke, and I saw again in my dream 7 ears spring out of one stalk full and good, and 7 other ears withered, thin, and blasted with wind, spring up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I have told it unto the soothsayers, but no man can tell me what it meaneth. Then Joseph said unto Pharaoh, Both Pharaoh's dreams are one, and God doth show Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 year, and the 7 good ears are 7 year also, and is but one dream. Likewise the 7 thin and evil-favoured kine that came out after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty and blasted ears shall be 7 years of hunger. This is that which I said unto Pharaoh, that God doth show Pharaoh what he is about to do. Behold, there shall come 7 year of great plenteousness throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of hunger, so that all the plenteousness shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the hunger shall consume the land, so that the plenteousness shall not be once a seen in the land by reason of that hunger that shall come after, for it shall be exceeding great. And as concerning that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh the 2nd time, it be to Kenneth that the thing is certainly prepared of God, and that God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh provide for a man of understanding and wisdom, and set him over the land of Egypt. And let Pharaoh make officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of these good years that come, and lay up corn under the power of Pharaoh, that there may be food in the cities, and there let them keep it, that there may be food in store in the land, against the 7 years of hunger which shall come in the land of Egypt, and that the land perish not thorough hunger. And the saying pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. Then said Pharaoh unto his servants, Where shall we find such a man as this is, that hath the Spirit of God in him? Wherefore Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God hath showed thee all this, there is no man of understanding nor of wisdom like unto thee. Thou, Genesis, therefore shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people obey. Only in the king's seat will I be above thee. And he said unto Joseph, Behold, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And he took off his ring from his finger, and put it upon Joseph's finger, and arrayed him in raiment of bys, and put a golden chain about his neck, and set him upon the best chariot that he had save one. And they cried before him Abrech, and that Pharaoh had made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, without thy will shall no man lift up either his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And he called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paaneah, and he gave him to wife Asnath, the daughter of Potiphar priest of On. Then went Joseph abroad in the land of Egypt, and he was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And then Joseph departed from Pharaoh, and went thorough out all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years they made sheaves, and gathered up all the food of the 7 plenteous years which were in the land of Egypt, and put it into the cities. And he put the food of the fields that grew round about every city, even in the same. And Joseph laid up corn in store, like unto the sand of the sea in multitude out of measure, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of hunger came, which Asnath the daughter of Potiphar priest of On bare unto him. And he called the name of the first son Manasseh, for God, said he, hath made me forget all my labour and all my father's household. The second called he Ephraim, for God, said he, hath caused me to grow in the land of my trouble. And when the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, Then came the 7 years of dearth, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in the land of Egypt was there yet food. When now all the land of Egypt began to hunger, then cried the people to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all Egypt, Go unto Joseph, and what he saith to you that do. And when the dearth was thorough out all the land, Joseph opened all that was in the cities, and sold unto the Egyptians. And hunger waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came to Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the hunger was so sore in all lands. Genesis. When Jacob saw that there was corn to be sold in Egypt, merchant, he said unto his sons, Why are ye negligent? Behold, I have heard that there is corn to be sold in Egypt. Get you thither, and buy us corn from thence, that we may live and not die. So went Joseph's 10 brethren down to buy corn in Egypt. For Benjamin Joseph's brother would not Jacob send with his other brethren, for he said some misfortune might happen him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among other that came, for there was dearth also in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was governor in the land, and sold corn to all the people of the land. And his brethren came, and fell flat on the ground before him. When Joseph saw his brethren, he knew them, but made strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them, saying, Whence come ye? And they said, Out of the land of Canaan, to buy vitile. Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered his dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, and to see where the land is weak is your coming. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy vitile thy servants are come. We are all one man's sons, and mean truly, and thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, verily, but even to see where the land is weak is your coming. And they said, We thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. The youngest is yet with our father, and one no man woteth where he is. Joseph said unto them, That is it that I said unto you, that ye are surely spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. For by the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go hence until your youngest brother be come hither. Send therefore one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be in prison in the mean season. And thereby shall your words be proved, whether there be any truth in you. Or else by the life of Pharaoh ye are but spies. And he put them in ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto the 3rd day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye mean no hurt, let one of your brethren be bound in the prison, and go ye and bring the necessary food unto your households, and bring your youngest brother unto me, that your words may be believed, and that ye die not. And they did so. Then they said one to another, We have verily sinned against our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and would not hear. Genesis. Him. Therefore is this trouble come upon us. Reuben answered them, saying, Said I not unto you that ye should not sin against the lad? But ye would not hear. And now verily see, his blood is required. They were not aware that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. And he turned from them and wept, and then turned to them again, and communed with them, and took out Simeon from among them, and bound him before their eyes, and commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to put every man's money in his sack, and to give them vitile to spend by the way. And so it was done to them. And they laded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack, for to give his ass provender in the inn, he spied his money in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored me again, and is even in my sack's mouth. Then their hearts failed them, and were astonished, and said one to another, How cometh it that God dealeth thus with us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that had happened them, saying, The Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies to search the country. And we said unto him, We mean truly, and are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is away, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan. And the Lord of the count said unto us, Hereby shall I know if ye mean truly. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food necessary for your households, and get you away, and bring your youngest brother unto me. And thereby shall I know that ye are no spies, but mean truly. So will I deliver you your brother again, and ye shall occupy in the land. And as they emptied their sacks, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye robbed of my children. Joseph is away, and Simeon is away, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things fall upon me. Reuben answered his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee again. Deliver him therefore to my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you. for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. Moreover, some misfortune might happen upon him by the way which ye go. And so should ye bring my grey. Genesis. Head with sorrow unto the grave, and the dearth waxed sore in the land. And when they had calopate, eaten up that corn which they brought out of the land of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, and buy us a little food. Then said Judah unto him, The man did testify unto us, saying, Look that ye see not my face, except your brother be with you. Therefore, if thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go and buy the food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go. For the man said unto us, Look that ye see not my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so cruelly with me as to tell the man that ye had yet another brother? And they said, The man asked us of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye not another brother? And we told him according to these words. How could we know that he would bid us bring our brother down with us? Then said Judah unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will rise and go, that we may live and not die, both we, thou, and also our children. I will be surety for him, and of my hands require him. If I bring him not to thee, and set him before thine eyes, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had made this tarrying, by this we had been there twice, and come again. Then their father Israel said unto them, If it must needs be so now, then do thus, take of the best fruits of the land in your vessels, and bring the man a present, a courtesy balm, and a courtesy of honey, spices and myrrh, dates and almonds. And take as much money more with you, and the money that was brought again in your sacks, take it again with you in your hands. Peradventure it was some oversight. Take also your brother with you, and arise and go again to the man. And God Almighty give you mercy in the sight of the man, and send you your other brother, and also Benjamin. And I will be as a man robbed of his children. Thus took they the present, and twice so much more money with them, and Benjamin, and rose up, went down to Egypt, and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay and make ready, for they shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and brought them into Joseph's house. When they were brought to Joseph's house, they were afraid, and said, Because of the money that came in our sacks' mouths. Genesis. At the first time are we brought to pick a quarrel with us, and to lay something to our charge, to bring us in bondage, and our asses also. Therefore came they to the man that was the ruler over Joseph's house, and communed with him at the door, and said, Sir, we came hither at the first time to buy food. And as we came to an inn and opened our sacks, behold, every man's money was in his sack with full weight. But we have brought it again with us, and other money have we brought also in our hands to buy food, but we cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Be of good cheer, fear not. Your God and the God of your fathers hath put you that treasure in your sacks, for I had your money. And he brought Simeon out to them, and led them into Joseph's house, and gave them water to wash their feet, and gave their asses provender. And they made ready their present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard say that they should dine there. When Joseph came home, they brought the present into the house to him which they had in their hands, and fell flat on the ground before him. And he welcomed them courteously, saying, Is your father that old man which ye told me of in good health? And is he yet alive? They answered, Thy servant our father is in good health, and is yet alive. And they bowed themselves and fell to the ground. And he lifted up his eyes, and beheld his brother Benjamin his mother's son, and said, Is this your youngest brother, of whom ye said unto me? And said, God be merciful unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his heart did melt upon his brother, and sought for to weep, and entered into his chamber for to weep there. And he washed his face, and came out, and refrained himself, and bade set bread on the table. And they prepared for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which ate with him by themselves, because the Egyptians may not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the eldest according unto his age, and the youngest according unto his youth. And the men marveled among themselves, and they brought rewards unto them from before him. But Benjamin's part was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they ate and they drank, and were drunk with him. And he commanded the ruler of his house, saying, Fill the exley 4 men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put Genesis. Every man's money in his bag mouth, and put my silver cup in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money also. And he did as Joseph had said. And in the morning, as soon as it was light, the men were let go with their asses, And when they were out of the city and not yet far away, Joseph said unto the ruler of his house, Up and follow after the men, and overtake them, and say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is that not the cup of which my Lord drinketh? And doth he not prophesy therein? Ye have evil done that ye have done. And he overtook them, and said the same words unto them. And they answered him, Wherefore saith my Lord such words? God forbid that thy servants should do so. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of my Lord's house either silver or gold? With whosoever of thy servants it be found, let him die. And let us also be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, Now therefore, according unto your words, he with whom it is found shall be my servant. But ye shall be harmless. And at once every man took down his sack to the ground, and every man opened his sack. And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and went again unto the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this which ye have done? Wist ye not that such a man as I can prophesy? Then said Judah, What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak, or what excuse can we make? God hath found out the wickedness of thy servants. Behold, both we and he with whom the cup is found are thy servants. And he answered, God forbid that I should do so. The man with whom the cup is found, he shall be my servant. But go ye in peace unto your father. Then Judah went unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant speak a word in my Lord's audience, and be not wroth with thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servant, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we answered, My Lord, we have a father that is old, and a young lad which he begat in his age. And the brother of the said lad is dead, and he is all that. The other, Genesis, is left of that mother, and his father loveth him. Then said my Lord unto his servants, Bring him unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. And we answered my Lord, that the lad could not go from his father, for if he should leave his father, he were but a dead man. Then saidest thou unto thy servants, Except your youngest brother come with you, look that ye see my face no more. And when we came unto thy servant our father, we showed him what my Lord had said. And when our father said unto us, Go again and buy us a little food, we said that we could not go. Nevertheless, if our youngest brother go with us, then will we go, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. Then said thy servant our father unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and the one went out from me, and it is said of a surety that he is torn in pieces of wild beasts, and I saw him not since. If ye shall take this also away from me, and some misfortune happen upon him, then shall ye bring my grey head with sorrow unto the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, if the lad be not with me, seeing that his life hangeth by the lad's life, then as soon as he seeth that the lad is not come, he will die. So shall we thy servants bring the grey head of thy servant our father with sorrow unto the grave. For I thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, and said, If I bring him not unto thee again, I will bear the blame all my life long. Now therefore let me thy servant bide here for the lad, and be my Lord's bondman, and let the lad go home with his brethren. For how can I go unto my father, and the lad not with me, lest I should see the wretchedness that shall come on my father? And Joseph could no longer refrain before all them that XLV stood about him, but commanded that they should go all out from him, and that there should be no man with him while he uttered himself unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, so that the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. And he said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? But his brethren could not answer him, for they were abashed at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. And now be not grieved therewith, neither let it seem a cruel thing in your eyes that, Genesis, ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to save life. For this is the 2nd year of dearth in the land, and 5 more are behind, in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. Wherefore God sent me before you to make provision, that ye might continue in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not ye that sent me hither, but God, and he hath made me father unto Pharaoh, and lord over all his house, and ruler in all the land of Egypt. Haste you, and go to my father, and tell him, This saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me lord over all Egypt. Come down unto me, and tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and be by me. both thou and thy children and thy children's children, and thy sheep and beasts and all that thou hast. There will I make provision for thee, for there remain yet 5 years of dearth, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast perish. Behold, your eyes do see, and the eyes also of my brother Benjamin, that I speak to you by mouth. Therefore tell my father of all my honour which I have in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and make haste and bring in father hither. And he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Moreover he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that his brethren talked with him. And when the tidings was come unto Pharaoh's house that Joseph's brethren were come, it pleased Pharaoh well and all his servants. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, Say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lade your beasts and get you hence. And when ye be come unto the land of Canaan, take your father and your households and come unto me, and I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. And commanded also, This do ye, take chariots with you out of the land of Egypt for your children and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the goods of all the land of Egypt shall be yours. And the children of Israel did even so. And Joseph gave them chariots at the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them vitail also to spend by the way. And he gave unto each of them change of raiment. But unto Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver, and 5 changes of raiment. And unto his father he sent after the same manner. 10 he asses laden with goods out of Egypt, and 10 she asses laden with corn, bread, and meat. Genesis. To serve his father by the way. So sent he his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. And they departed from Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart wavered, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph which he had said unto them. But when he saw the chariots which Joseph had sent to carry him, then his spirits revived. And Israel said, I have enough, if Joseph my son be yet alive. I will go and see him ere that I die. Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came unto Exelvik's Beersheba, and offered offerings unto the God of his father Isaac. And God said unto Israel in a vision by night, and called unto him, Jacob, Jacob. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, I am that mighty God of thy father, fear not to go down into Egypt. For I will make of thee there a great people. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba. And the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father and their children and their wives in the chariots which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cat-teal and the goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, both Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. These are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, both Jacob and his sons, Reuben Jacob's first son. The children of Reuben, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Charmi. The children of Simeon, Jemuel, Jami, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Saul, the son of a Canaanitish woman. The children of Levi, Gerson, Kahath, and Merari. The children of Judah, Onan, Selah, Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The children of Pharez, Hezron, and Hamel. The children of Issachar, Tola, Pua, Job, and Semnon. The children of Zabulon, Sered, Elon, and Jahaleel. These be the children of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Mesopotamia with his daughter Dinah. All these souls of his sons and daughters make 36. The children of Gad, Ziphion, Haggi, Suni, other 3. Genesis, Esbon, Eria, Rodi, and Areli. The children of Asa, Jemna, Jeshua, Jeshui, Bria, and Sarah their sister. And the children of Bria were Heber and Malchiel. These are the children of Silpha, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter. And these she bare unto Jacob in number 16 souls. The children of Rahel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasses and Ephraim, which Asnath, the daughter of Putiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. The children of Benjamin, Bela, Becher, Asbel, Gera, Naiman, Ehi, Ros, Mupim, Hupim, and Ard. These are the children of Rahel, which were born unto Jacob, 14 souls altogether. The children of Dan, Husim. The children Nephtali, Jahaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Silam. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rahel his daughter. And she bare these unto Jacob, altogether 7 souls. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, beside his sons' wives, were altogether 66 souls. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls, so that all the souls of the house of Jacob which came into Egypt are 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, that the way might be showed him unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went against Israel his father unto Goshen, and presented himself unto him, and fell on his neck, and wept upon his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now I am content to die, insomuch I have seen thee, that thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go and show Pharaoh, and tell him, that my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me, and how they are shepherds, for they were men of cattle, and they have brought their sheep and their oxen, and all that they have with them. If Pharaoh call you and ask you what your occupation is, say, Thy servants have been occupied about cattle from our childhood unto this time, both we and our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For an abomination unto the Egyptians are all that feed sheep. And Joseph went and told Pharaoh, and said, My father and my brethren, their sheep and their beasts and all that they have, are come out of the land of Canaan, and are in the land other, to meet, vive, other. For the Egyptians abhor all shepherds. Genesis of Goshen. And Joseph took a part of his brethren, even 5 of them, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, What is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, Feeders of sheep are thy servants, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their sheep, so sore is the famishment in the land of Canaan. Now therefore let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is open before thee. In the best place of the land make both thy father and thy brethren dwell, and even in the land of Goshen let them dwell. Moreover, if thou know any men of activity among them, make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh asked Jacob, How old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, The days of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of my life been, and have not attained unto the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimages. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from him. And Joseph prepared dwellings for his father and his brethren, and gave them possessions in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, even in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh commanded. And Joseph made provision for his father, his brethren, and all his father's household, as young children are fed with bread. There was no bread in all the land, for the dearth was exceeding sore, so that the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan were famished by the reason of the dearth. And Joseph brought together all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and of Canaan, for the corn which they bought, and he laid up the money in Pharaoh's house. When money failed in the land of Egypt and of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph, and said, Give us sustenance. Wherefore sufferest thou us to die before thee? For our money is spent. Then said Joseph, Bring your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if ye be without money. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph. And he gave them bread for horses and sheep, and oxen and asses. So he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year. When that year was ended, they came. Other, shepherds. Genesis unto him the next year, and said unto him, We will not hide it from my lord, how that we have neither money nor cattle for my lord. There is no more left for my lord, but even our bodies and our lands. Wherefore lettest thou us die before thine eyes, and the land to go to naught? Buy us and our lands for bread, and let both us and our lands be bond to Pharaoh. Give us seed, that we may live and not die, and that the land go not to waste. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his land, because the dearth was sore upon them. And so the land became Pharaoh's. And he appointed the people unto the cities, from one side of Egypt unto the other. Only the land of the priests bought he not. For there was an ordinance made by Pharaoh for the priests, that they should eat that which was appointed unto them, which Pharaoh had given them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the folk, Behold, I have bought you this day and your lands for Pharaoh. Take their seed, and go sow the land. And of the increase ye shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own for seed to sow the field, and for you and them of your households, and for your children to eat. And they answered, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and let us be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that men must give Pharaoh the 5th part, except the land of the priests only, which was not bond unto Pharaoh. And Israel dwelt in Egypt, even in the country of Goshen, and they had their possessions therein, and they grew and multiplied exceedingly. Moreover, Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so that the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. When the time drew nigh that Israel must die, he sent for his son Joseph, and said unto him, If I have found grace in thy sight, put thy hand under my thigh, and deal mercifully and truly with me, that thou bury me not in Egypt, but let me lie by my fathers, and carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burial. And he answered, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he sware unto him. And then Israel bowed him unto the bed's head. After these deeds tidings were brought unto Joseph that Exel his father was sick, and he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Then was it said unto Jacob, Behold, thy Genesis, son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel took his strength unto him, and sat up on the bed, and said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, Behold, I will make thee grow, and will multiply thee, and will make a great number of people of thee, and will give this land unto thee, and unto thy seed after thee, unto an everlasting possession. Now therefore thy 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, which were born unto thee before I came to thee into Egypt, shall be mine, even as Reuben and Simeon shall they be unto me. And the children which thou gettest after them shall be thine own, but shall be called with the names of their brethren in their inheritances. And after I came from Mesopotamia, Rahel died upon my hand in the land of Canaan by the way, when I had but a field's bread to go unto Ephrat. And I buried her there in the way to Ephrat, which is now called Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, What are these? And Joseph said unto his There, they are my sons, which God hath given me here. And he said, Bring them to me, and let me bless them. And the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them to him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to have seen thy face, and yet, lo, God hath showed it me, and also thy seed. And Joseph took them away from his lap, and they fell on the ground before him. Then took Joseph them both, Rame in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, which was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, crossing his hands, for Manasseh was the elder. And he blessed Joseph, saying, God, before whom my there's Abraham and Isaac did walk, and the God which hath fed me all my life long unto this day, and the angel which hath delivered me from all evil, bless these lads, that they may be called after my name, and after my father Abraham and Isaac, and that they may grow and multiply upon the earth. When Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he lifted up his father's hand to have removed it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head, and said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the eldest. Genesis. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father would not, but said, I know it well, my son, I know it well. He shall be also a people, and shall be great. But of a troth his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall be full of people. And he blessed them, saying, At the example of these the Israelites shall bless and say, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. Thus set he Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, and God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I give unto thee a portion of land above thy brethren, which I gat out of the hands of the Amorites with my sword and with my bow. And Jacob called for his sons, and said, Come together, that ex-lex, I may tell you what shall happen you in the last days. Gather you together, and hear ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art mine eldest son, my might, and the beginning of my strength, chief in receiving and chief in power. As unstable as water wast thou, thou shalt therefore not be the chiefest, for thou wentest up upon thy father's bed, and then defiledest thou my couch with going up. The brethren Simeon and Levi, wicked instruments are their weapons. Into their secrets come not my soul, and unto their congregation be my honour not coupled. For in their wrath they slew a man, and in their self-will they hauled an ox. Cursed be their wrath, for it was strong, and their fierceness, for it was cruel. I will therefore divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, thy brethren shall praise thee, and thine hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, and thy father's children shall stoop unto thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From spoil, my son, thou art come on high. He laid him down and couched himself as a lion and as a lioness. Who dare stir him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a ruler from between his legs, until Silo come, unto whom the people shall hearken. He shall bind his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the vine branch, and shall wash his garment in wine, and his mantle in the blood of grapes. His eyes are rowdier than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Zabulon shall dwell in the haven of the sea, and in the port of ships, and shall reach unto Sidon. Issachar is a strong ass. He couched him down between two borders, and saw that rest was good, and the land that vareth other, and high. Genesis. It was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent in the way, and an adder in the path, and bite the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. After thy saving look I, Lord. Gad, men of war shall invade him, and he shall turn them to flight. Of Aser cometh fat bread, and he shall give pleasures for a king. Naphtali is a swift hind, and giveth goodly words. That flourishing child Joseph, that flourishing child and goodly unto the eye. The daughters come forth to bear rule. The shooters have envied him, and chid with him, and hated him. And yet his bow bode fast, and his arms and his hands were strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. Out of him shall come an herdman, a stone in Israel. Thy father's God shall help thee, and the Almighty shall bless thee with blessings from heaven above, and with blessings of the water that lieth under, and with blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of thy father were strong, even as the blessings of my elders, after the desire of the highest asterisk in the world. And these blessings shall fall on the head of Joseph, and on the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. Benjamin is a ravishing wolf. In the morning he shall devour his prey, and at night he shall divide his spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is that which their father spake unto them when he blessed them, every man with a several blessing. And he charged them and said unto them, I shall be put unto my people. See that ye bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hethite, in the double cave that is in the field before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which field Abraham bought of Ephron the Hethite for a possession to bury in. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah, which field and the cave that is therein was bought of the children of Heth. When Jacob had commanded all that he would unto his sons, he plucked up his feet upon the bed and died, and was put unto his people. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants that were physicians to embalm his father, and the physicians in verse other ran upon the wall. Other, highest. Genesis balmed Israel 40 days long, for so long doth the embalming last. And the Egyptians bewept him 70 days. And when the days of weeping were ended, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If I have found favor in your eyes, speak unto Pharaoh, and tell him, how that my father made me swear, and said, Lo, I die. See that thou bury me in my grave which I have made me in the land of Canaan. Now therefore let me go and bury my father, and then will I come again. And Pharaoh said, Go and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went all the servants of Pharaoh that were the elders of his house, and all the elders of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house. Only their children and their sheep and their cattle left they behind them in the land of Goshen. And there went with him also chariots and horsemen, so that they were an exceeding great company. And when they came to the field of Atad beyond Jordan, there they made great and exceeding sore lamentation. And he mourned for his father 7 days. When the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the field of Atad, they said, This is a great mourning which the Egyptians make. Wherefore the name of the place is called Abel Mizraim, which place lieth beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he had commanded them. And his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the double cave which Abraham had bought with the field, to be a place to bury in, of Ephron the Hethite before Mamre. And Joseph returned to Egypt again, and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father as soon as he had buried him. When Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph might fortune to hate us, and reward us again all the evil which we did unto him. They did therefore a commandment unto Joseph, saying, Thy father charged before his death, saying, This wise say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee, the trespass of thy brethren and their sin, for they rewarded thee evil. Now therefore we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of thy father's God. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren came and fell before him, and said, Behold, we be thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am not I under God? Ye thought evil unto me, but God turned it. Genesis. Unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, even to save much people alive. Fear not therefore, for I will care for you and for your children. And he spake kindly unto them. Joseph dwelt in Egypt, and his father's house also, and lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children, even unto the 3rd generation. And unto Machir the son of Manasseh were children born, and sat on Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and God will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, and said, God will not fail but visit you. See therefore that ye carry my bones hence. And so Joseph died when he was 110-year-old, and they embalmed him and put him in a chest in Egypt. End of TR, OK of Moses.